all the 1v9 gameplays, the comebacks, the pentakills, the good habits, the bad habits, the biggest question is always, how do I make these principles work in my elo? How do I climb using all of this when my elo's played a little bit differently than the other elos? And so to become an absolute monster level jungler, I present to you a coaching review of every single MMR so that you can climb from whatever you are all the way up to Master Plus using a wide variety of champions and strategies. This jungle movie compilation will have everything you need to climb. Let's begin. In this one we have a Silver Udyr versus a Silver Warwick. The Udyr here getting unleashed on the bottom side, the Warwick also getting unleashed on the bottom side. The Udyr a little late to his spawn here, playing too much with the Lux and the river, but that's fine. We've got here a farming style jungler against a more rotation fighter, ganky style jungler, except you'll notice Udyr is going with Hail of Blades. He's going to go the AD focus build. So what this allows in terms of low elo play is, hey, enemy team, they're always going to team fight, my team always going to team fight. I need to leverage a bit of macro control in order to win these games and carry in this elo to get to gold. So we're going to look at how that kind of comes together in one package for both these junglers. They're on their full clears. We're going to be watching this one, and I said full clears because even when they're playing ganking junglers in low elo, they're typically still full clearing even though they shouldn't be. So this is a 2-minute 30 cross timer for the Udyr, not perfect. Warwick way slower and decides, hey, we've got here a Yone pushing the wave. Lux is hit level 3, maybe I can go ahead and gank this. In principle, I like these kinds of actions, but Yone obviously has his Q dash, he has his flash, there we go. And the Viego just gets procced, he just turns back in, he shouldn't. Now he's taking free damage, and again, he shouldn't. And you might think, hey, I'm going for a good gank here, but all you're doing is inting your lane. Right, so when you look at this from a coaching perspective, it's like, okay, I decided to cut my blue side quadrant into the gank in the mid lane. A lot of you are thinking about that. Hey, what if I do my red side quadrant and gank mid lane? Do my red side quadrant and gank bottom lane? That's all well and good, but you've got to know when to pull the plug on a gank. A Yone, in the first case, is not really something you want to gank straight up, especially when there's a cannon wave pushing the Lux and she's already HP compromised. Now you're chasing him into his minion wave here, and now you're losing a lot of HP as well. You're going to take a turret shot. He has Ignite Up, he has Flash Up, and at any point the Udyr could decide, that the enemy jungler could decide to rotate. Now, most likely they won't in these particular cases because they can see, okay, the Yone is going to turn this around, and guess what? Like, he doesn't even have to use his Ignite. You just give him a free kill and a blue buff. So, step 1. I'm going to leave links below to all sort of topics that you might need throughout this entire video. And it's basically talking about how your ganking recognition needs to become significantly better because the idea is still good, right? Or, look at the idea. Pushing mid lane, I can finish my quadrant and do a gank because I'm level 3 and the enemy jungler is going to full clear and I cannot match them. Yes, your logic is sound. But is this the lane where you actually want to do that? And if it isn't, then which lane did you want to gank? Probably the Thresh lane with a Twitch or the Kale. So then you should structure a clear that allows you to get to that. Warwick comes straight out of base here, goes straight once more for this Yone. The Udyr has done his full clear and taken the Scuttle Crab, which is absolutely fine. We like that baseline. Now he gets stunned. Good rotation by the Udyr. We'll take another kill off. Udyr doing exactly what I recommend people do in this particular MMR range, which is track the enemy jungler, watch their randomness, laugh at their mistakes, and keep your foundation core simple and good, right? And by those weird words, I mean core full clear, right? Simple, that you don't have to adjust it unless something really obvious happens, like a 3v3 with everyone's 1 HP, then yes, go ahead, you know what I mean? But we do have full clear, we take the Scuttle Crab, then we look up, can we go and gank somewhere? Where's the enemy jungler? And you react to it. Nice and simple, yes? Now, because we know that Warwick went mid lane with 12 CS and a blue buff, we know that he hasn't done his red side. And then he died and came out of base again and went to this. Lux turned it around and went ahead and ganked again and died again. So Udyr decided to go for the Raptors. This is where we disagree. I think in this particular case, you should obviously have a faster full clear than he did, but the fact that he had a good full clear is great. You come out of the jungle, you snack this up, you see that Warwick for some reason goes straight back to this gank. You know, he dies, you rotate, that's cool. Let's go and take his red. Immediately take his red, because in low elo, typically they're very, very obsessed with red buffs. Very, very obsessed. And the Warwick comes out of base, you're thinking he might be able to get the Yone. Yone dies, so he turns up to the red. Now, if he went for the Raptors first, which he might do, you don't know that, you're still compromising him entirely, because you can easily take this, and if top lane is gankable, and it is gankable, right? A Kale isn't an ungankable lane. It's not an obvious gank for you, but it's something you can do, especially if you're strong enough early to take on the Volibear. So you have to decide, can I 2v1 this lane? And you take this, and off you go. Now, what I would like to do after this is, if this isn't gankable for whatever reason, You can always look to double scuttle the guy, but again, I don't really like doing that. What I would do is, and why I keep this ward, and I like that he placed this ward here. This is all good stuff. I would take the red, ward here, take this, go to the Krugs, drag them left. You will see the Warwick if he goes to this, into this, if he goes into this, if he comes down here and goes here, you will see everything he's doing. So if you can immediately after the game go straight for this and drag into the Krugs, you might be able to get both. It is greedy, but I kind of like it a little bit. However, if you want to play it safer, just do the red, go back to base, gank your bottom lane, take the Scuttle Crab. While he's up here, go ahead and take this. And you would see him on the ward. So the Warwick is able to actually get the red, but the Udyr's now like, well, I'll stand still and fight you. Warwick's like, I'll stand still and fight you. And they just, that's a silver mechanics thing. You don't really need to think about anything. And now we're going to go ahead and take these Krugs. Watch the minions here. You don't want to be spotted by the minions. Drag it left. Very good. Good job there, Toasty Maker. Definitely another way to go about it, right? This way we get this one. We almost get this one, and we get this one. But that means Warwick is going to be coming down to the bottom side, and you have to pay attention to the Volibear on the top side for his rotation. Now, Warwick doesn't use the outside in rule, which means taking something further away from you first, and then falling back to your camps. So here he could leave the base and go to the Scuttle Crab, and then fall back to these. Huge, right? And in this particular case, huge in a better way, because if he gets to go for the outside in rule and take this, and then you see the Udyr gank this, guess what you can do now? You can go ahead and take his Raptors, his Krugs. Maybe you can gank the bottom lane as well. You can gank the bottom lane first, read and react appropriately, and then you can fall back into your jungle thereafter. Udyr comes out of base and goes, oh, and he lost all his stuff. Now, though, the Udyr does what I say. Well, does what I said earlier. Hey, I've got a great ganking angle. He's not, exactly pronounced on it, but it's like, hey, maybe we can put a flash. The Volibear could turn and do something, which of course he does here, hitting that E, but it is still... Yeah, for the W2, good job. Very good. I wasn't worried for a second. I knew we would make it. Yeah, you see the Q max here is very, very strong in this regard. The W Awaken is, of course, very strong also in those kind of fights. Q Awaken as well, just absolutely the same percentage of HP still, even after the nerfs. However, Volibear's W2 is a big mega chop now, and there's a lot of percentage HP on his E, so you don't want to stand still with the Volibear. So, definitely a problem with this Udyr. We're standing still fighting champions that like to stand still, but with this build, you also like to stand still, so it's fine. Now, the Warwick in this particular case has died 3 times. This is just straight up meeting, horrific game planning, bad pathing, has done these things, and now goes out to this. The Udyr should be showing up here with nothing available. This should all be gone. He should have come out of base, gone for the Scuttle Crab, seen him here, said thank you, thank you, thank you. Maybe I can rotate to this and help my bottom lane. Maybe I can kill the Twitch, right? Because you saw that trade, right? You saw that 2v2. 2v2 was very, very close. Sorry, rushing through words there because we're going mid lane. We're going to do the Chomp E Fear. But what do you expect to do against a Yone who's level 6? Well, you're level 4 with boots. Boots. Don't buy boots. Buy something combat. Something that helps you clear. Something that helps you be tanky. Nice rotation from the Udyr. I like this. I like this a lot. You see this? He takes this. He sees it. He sees the cow moving with him. He moves with him. And he says, hey, look, can I take these as well? Again, I'll just take these again. Deny you some counter jungling. Udyr enables this sort of playstyle so well. And we're 2 levels up. We're 4-0-0. We had a great reactive gank to kill the Warwick again. Randomness? Fine, we'll punish it. We invaded him thereafter to take his camps and kill him because we knew we tracked his CS and we knew he was going to be there. Then what happened is we decided to gank on the top lane and take that gank. Warwick, because he's silver, didn't punish us accordingly, which he should have, and then we collapsed upon him and killed him again. We'll wait for these and take these. I'm okay with this. You know why? Because this Warwick has shown himself to not be a studier of the counter-jungling art of war. He only focuses on... Well, I don't really know what he focuses on, but it's definitely something... It's involving a brick wall and a feather. You get my meaning. We looked at this, we see this. Maybe we could have gone to this as well. I think this is huge. The Volibear didn't waste his flash there. They're going to take this. That's fine. I don't worry too much about this. There's no reason to worry. See, I don't know what we're doing necessarily here. You're in control. You're in such good control. Take this, at worst, right, cut into counter gank this, and you could also just protect your camps afterwards. Best scenario is the guy goes backwards after doing the dragon, and so you can loop back and maybe take this. You see? That's kind of what we want to go for here. But I think in this case, you can easily just sequence down, protect everything, go back to base, and then go straight for Herald afterwards. Now we're kind of shadowing a little too much. We skipped over the top side quadrant. We see this occurring. We're not rotating to it. We're worried too much about a red. Warwick shows up here. Cow dies. But hey, if you saw them on the dragon and you knew this was a possibility, let it happen, man. Let it happen. You've done this, you've done this. You see this mid lane, you're going to hold the mid lane wave now. You just hold it, deny plate. Cool. Obviously don't die to a thresh hook and things like that, but, you know, play it smart, and you should be in a good position. Now we watch the Warrior here. We're just doing red into Raptors, giving away free plates when we could have protected this, held this, and, well, we tried the Awakened R. It didn't really do much, did it? So, there you go. Now we're going to go back to the top side. So, the first time in this game, the Udyr does weird, wacky power thing. Unlucky, because you're total control and domination. The Scuttle Crab is spawning now, and what are we doing? We're wolves. We're letting this warrior get away with freebies. And I hate it when we let enemy junglers get away with freebies. The big thing we talk about in the courses and in the coachings all the time in the private Discord. Why aren't you continuing to jungle deny? Why aren't you continuing to keep that pressure on? Why are you giving them anything for free? Because this guy does not deserve anything for free, I can tell you that much. He is free. Very, very free indeed. Now the Udyr, in this particular case, you can say, well, he's sequenced. Yes. Yeah, but let me draw a diagram for you with my mouse. Yeah, no cams. Yes, okay. All right, I'm gonna do this. What is with this, right? We've been out a while now too, because we kind of came out of the base here and did all of this, right? So it's one big loop of the map. You had the opportunity to control 3 quadrants. 3 quadrants. Or like this, depending where you're from. So, take all of this again, protect all of this again, gank this if you need to, otherwise back to base straight for the Herald now. If the Warwick shows up somewhere else, you can invade this again, and then you can drop it and snowball your KO by killing the Volibear here, which is amazing, right? So that's where I think this game is. This is where you see a silver jungler isn't quite gold, isn't quite platinum, isn't quite emerald. They like this decisiveness, this map read, because that's what allows you to really get a KO going, What are they going to do when a KO reaches level 11 and they're all level 9? Nothing. They can do nothing. KO is already snowballing very, very well. So, missed opportunities, and you can see here, you don't want to results-based it, but you could be making this even better for your team. Now we're sitting at base and we're wondering what we should build way too much, which is of course something I really, really don't like to see at all. You should know what you're building. You see the Warwick on the top side here over the wall. He's level 6 at 10 minutes, 11 minutes. He thinks maybe he can do something against the Kayle, who used their TP very, very well there. Now, the big mistake we made, I've just outlined. I think that was critical in terms of how this game is going to develop and flow. But we're now in the phase of the game where we've done our job. You know, and Warwick has done his job with the number of deaths and ints on the mid lane. And so what happens is now, we can afford to just sequence and control jungle camps and then just react a little bit, but not react in a bad way. React in a good way. So, well, he got there in the end. First class travel. We sequence up, we see this, could you shadow? Sure, but you're in here, you're sequencing, you're chilling. RNG Scuttle on the top side, but again, hold these waves. I know we don't get as much juice from it lately, but really, I like holding these waves. Because why give them free gold, you know what I mean? And now we're running at him when it's too late. Lux is TP'd back. Warwick is not going to go to the top side, probably take this top side Scuttle. So, given that we didn't hold it, go here, take this away from him. You know he's going to come up to it afterwards. So go and take his Raptors, chill in the bush. When he face checks, you just kill him. Right? Use your Awaken Q and just absolutely eviscerate him. Yes? I want to see more of this invade that he used at the beginning. And he kind of misses these opportunities and gives the Warwick a few freebies here, like 4.2k gold. Can we all agree that did we just zoom in catastrophically? Why are we zoomed in so much now? Oh, there we go. For coaching, I like to zoom out so we have a bit more perspective, you know? High quality. Now the Warwick is going to get this free Scuttle, no pings, no one's tracking him. He's going to show up against the Kayle here, who's going to do the slows and the flashes and avoid the fear. And you're activating this here for some reason instead of here. And now we're going down to counter jungle. This is good. The counter jungling is good. But I feel like we could have had a better scenario where we're getting the Scuttle. We're killing him again in this jungle. We're taking all his camps. We're activating the Herald here and moving on up here. You know what I mean? So I feel like there's a lot more we could be doing. And we haven't really done it. But you only have to be better than your competition to get to the next tier. If you play like a gold jungler, you will get to gold. So strive to be a gold jungler. Everything I correct here, if you do properly, probably gets you 2 to 3 tiers above. But that's why I give you a list of things, right? Because you can decide what you want to work on. In the Warwick's case, I think firstly, you know, learn how to spell your own name. And then we'll go from there at this particular stage. No offense. And sometimes you gotta crack a joke every now and then. Yeah, he's dead, take the dragon. But then you see this down here and you're like, huh, maybe I can gank it first. And I like where his head's at here. Stun this, watch the lantern, obviously sit on the lantern. You can place the ward as well. Beautiful gank first. Now we can cut him for the Hextech Dragon. Obviously here you want to ensure that you've got that smite. Go, 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 go. Yes, yes, come on, let's go. Not worried about the Warwick. We're way ahead of him. Just turn and kill him. Just turn and kill him. Turn and kill him. No, 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 no. What are you doing, Warwick? You can't come here. Yone is not rotating. Who cares if he's not rotating at all? Just kill him. We'll get there eventually. There you go. You got to use your spells. You got to use your awaken, and you can't stand still and fight a Warwick like that just blindly. But if you're going to, this is a good build to do it. So we'll get this dragon. Twitch is respawned at this point, so the smite on the Warwick is not so good. Save that for the dragon. Now we're chasing down. I would be very cautious about this and just accept that they're dead. If you can accept that this guy is dead or was made a mistake and you're already doing the whole red side quadrant, you're good, yeah? Just let it happen. Take, go back to base, finish your Trinity 4s, become richer than you could possibly imagine, and go to the top side again. And that means we got this invade thereafter also, because we just took this, so now we could go here and take all of this. And obviously rotate as necessary to whatever fight occurs on the map. Cow goes in. Yona says, thank you, Cow. I can milk those. Lux says I can, you know, make oats with your milk? I don't know. But yeah, Lux, good champion. But now we're pathing in the opposite direction. We let the guy survive. We go here, here. Then we go up to this. We're compromised. We're compromised in a big way. And I think you're seeing a lot of it in this game where the Udyr's kind of taken his hands off when he didn't have to. And that comes with keeping that heightened awareness of your win conditions, where the enemy jungler is. And look, we're 126 to 73 CS. I love it. I love it. And we're 501. He's 471. I love that too. But the fact of the matter is we're only 800 gold ahead of him. And we're still only 800 gold ahead of him, and I hate that. Because you are at 6.6k gold. You know, at 14 minutes, that's where you want to be if you want to 1v9. 6k gold at 14 is like a good metric. So look at your replays. When you 1v9 the game, look at what your gold was at 14. What gold did you leave on the map? What gold did you give to the enemy jungler as well? Because him getting free plates and free kills and free heralds, free scuttles, basically herald, that allows him to stay within touching distance with his cash monies. No? And that's not what you want to do. So, Bel'Veth shows up here. We're just AFK farming now. I think it's very easy when you play this kind of jungle to get sucked into like, oh, we're winning, I'm just going to farm now. You got to keep your eye on the ball. Like, we're up 2 levels, which is great, but you got to stay with it. There we go, use the shield for the turret. Super nice, super good. HP war is 1. Oh, yo, no, yes, sir. Thank you so much. Nice rotation. Oh, cow. Oh, cow. Focus the turret. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. Yeah, yeah, I'm okay with that. Focus the turret, get it down, push the wave. Oh, no, we've been touched by light. Go do the herald. Herald, go. So HP war is a term I've been using in the private Discord quite a lot in that special content. Basically, you saw there on the top lane, they were all low HP on the red side. Low HP. Do we need to kill them to get what we want now? No. So if I can't kill them, don't waste too much time trying to chase the kill. Know that they have to go back to base. Pull back, and you can easily get a herald in that time. So if you can definitely go and finish them off and win these fights and get the turret and get the herald, of course, do it, which is what we've done here. But in the case that you cannot, no wave, your team also a little bit low, but you're strong, why does the camera keep swapping? Then you go ahead. You go ahead and take the herald yourself, you know? Right. Why is it doing this? Gotta love the camera work sometimes. The tools just bug themselves, literally. Now we're waiting way too long again for itemization. Whatever your build is, I still kind of like the Stride Breaker build, but in these coaching videos, I try to stay away from builds because I want these coaching videos to be really good, you know, in the coming months as well, where builds change and items change and mythics won't exist. Okay, I guess we're directed camera now. Bot lane takes that turret. We catch this wave, which is okay. I mean, it's fine. They're going to go back to base here. I don't think we should overchase. You know, I don't think we need to overchase here. Like, the Yasuo's coming. This wave is pushed in. I would have much rather caught this, taken this, pushed this up a little bit. Yone is dead. We look at the map here. Kayle is still top lane. She's great. We need 4 more levels for 16. They're going to reset now. You know, Lux is here. Can I run at her and kill her? Maybe, maybe not. Is she roaming down bottom lane? I don't know. So I kind of want to wait to see what occurs before I fully commit to this Herald action, because if Lux is rotating, Warwick is here, their bot lane is here, we're facing the wrong direction again, Yasuo's going mid lane instead of coming here. And that's why you want your laners to go where they should be. We could be 4v2 collapse here pretty easily. Lux chose not to, though. And when Yone was dead, there you go, now we're in 4v2. This is the kind of stuff that loses you games. Again, we're just standing still and trying to auto-attack a Warwick, not gonna happen. So now, because we did this, Yasuo goes mid lane. Versus us taking this and going mid lane. Watching this develop, and if they send 4 here, now you, as Udi, are here. Specifically with this build. If you're playing the Demonics tank build, by default, I do recommend that anyway. You stay mid lane with this build, with the 80 build. Watch, observe, register, activate, and then shove. Take this turret by yourself. You're AD Udyr. Let's go. Cut up and take all of this shit and join the Kayle. Shove this one too. All of a sudden, you got 2 tier 2 turrets because they sent 4 people down in the bottom lane. Why? And what you could have done is also just waited for Yasuo to come, drop the Herald, go mid lane. They were all collapsed into the Herald. Then you shove this. You don't even need the Herald. Another play you could do. There's always different outlets that you can use, but obviously this one was not the best one, yeah. This is a bit disappointing. And then the Yone goes bottom lane and does it as well. And now you're like, my team suck, my team suck. It's you. You're dead, you know? You died as well. Ravenous Hydra. Trinity Force Ravenous Hydra. That's okay. I do prefer, as I said, that we kind of stay more default with the Udyr than this kind of hyper-aggression Trinity Force build. I do like the Sterex second as well. I think that's a little bit better sometimes than going Rav here because, like, you look at their comp, sure, it's great versus Warwick, it's great versus Volibear, it's great versus Thresh. It's not so great versus Lux and the Twitch, although you can get onto them. They kill the Lux, which is great. We do lose the Dragon, which does suck. That's because of our death. But yeah, itemization-wise, all I would say is, in general, for silver plays, because again, I'm making this generally, not specifically for Udyrs and Warwicks, because the Warwick's itemization is well, it's sick, right? He rushed a Thormail. Why did he rush a Thormail? You know, stick to your core itemization. In this case, for Warwick, get your Tiamat, get yourself a Titanic Hydra. If you're going to play a regular DPS-focused build and you want to actually kill people, go your Tiamat, go your Blade of the Ruined King, get your Iceborne Gauntlet. If you want to go Jackshire builds, do that as well. Use your favorite website for data, use Mobalytics, get the best builds and so on, and then just copy those for a little bit until you figure out what they mean, you know? Don't try and auto-build the builds. No offense, but you don't know enough about your champion or the game to... Like, you're rushing Thormails, right? You're sitting in base for 10 years building Trinity Force Ravenous. Stick to what's working for a little bit. Figure out the limits of that, right? Figure out what's in the box first, and then you can start to cook a little bit. Sometimes, you know, a lot of people just try items for the sake of it instead of just focusing on the champion and the jungle. Itemization should not be something you're thinking about too much. Only really adaptive at the end, like 3rd, 4th, 5th item, you know. Should I get a Randuin's, or should I get a Frozen Heart, or should I get a Thormail? Oh, well, do they have healing a lot? You know, are there a lot of crit people? Do you need to slow attack speed down? And think like that. Same thing for your fighter builds, you know? Do I need Death's Dance? Do I need more? Do I just go Sterex and absorb all? That wasn't meant to rhyme, but it does. In the meantime, we are taking his camps, and we are now chasing into the jungle. You see the damage coming through. A lot of it. Kayle is now 13. My worry is that she's going to keep going until 16, overcommit the split, and die a bunch. So as an Udyr here, your job is to equal that pressure. Try and absorb some of it yourself. Obviously, being on the bottom side here is stupid. Kayle should be here and be able to TP to the Baron. And, you know, if this was me and I was a Warwick and a Tryndamere, I'm taking this right now away from you. I'm watching the map, and I'm just taking this. We're on it, we're on it, we're on it, and it's gone. You just lost the Baron for no reason. Should be what's happening. Now, they have kind of thought about it, like maybe, you know, on bottom side, maybe I'm worried about this Baron. But obviously in silver, they're not going to sneak it away, but Kayle does have a push, so we shadow. And in this case, if you're going to shadow a lot, it's better to go the Demonics build. If you want to split push and exert the macro pressure, then this build is great. Obviously, this build is great for assassination as well. Yone goes in here, Cow's here, we're finishing off the crush, just the Krug, go for the tug, man. Careful, Yone's in the bottom lane. Caution, see, posturing a little bit. Kayle goes into face check a brush because, hey, let's do that one with a Fed Kayle, level 14. Yone's creating pressure here, which is what I feel like we should be doing. So while Kale's here, we're here, our team is here, so 1-3-1. Put the rest of your team in the middle. And in the meantime, we say, hello. I now have Ravenous Hydra Trinity Force, which is the part we like about that build, and you saw that just absolute shred burst. Twitch is on the back line here, we're not getting rinsed with it. Be cautious as well, again. In and out, observe who's overcommitting. And when your team are dead here, don't die with them. I think that's a very important principle as well. Yasuo is joining though, so I feel like we could have postured a bit more before ditching, but I don't necessarily fault you entirely for thinking this is a bit doomed. But again, it could have changed to fight if you were there. You never need to do, you don't want to do what-ifism. Whoa. Downside to that build is your Giga Squishy. So, this should be a free Baron. Morgan Freeman voice. And they did not do the Baron. Minus like 25 octaves, but you know, I can't do anything about that. So in this particular case, okay, guy's out of position. I see the Asura collapsing. Maybe I can shadow, maybe we can do something. If you categorically think you cannot do anything, categorically think you cannot win this fight whatsoever, and it's a stupid-ass fight, then what you do is you leave, you take all of this, you sequence all of this, you catch this, you shove this, you give them the Baron, you take the inhib, you accept that trade, or you do this, you take all of this, you shove this all the way up, you force them back, and you disengage, you run away down, ZZ Rot Gaming, go back to base, and now you guys can flex into this or this. So the best thing for the Udyr there was to not rotate at all, because a late rotation is a pointless rotation. He decided that it was doomed and he had to leave. Great. Take. Assess. Do I go top side? Do I keep on sequencing? Do I go bottom side? Like, where can I exert some macro pressure and get a lot of gold? Now, of course, the Lux is chucking it. Well, then Windwall does buttons. Dragon's up. We're 5-2-2. Go. Like, this sitting and waiting, like, you could have taken it in a time that you're kind of waiting for them to show up. And obviously, we're afraid of the Lux, which is why you kind of want to start it up, force them to engage, turn, and then kill them. You don't want to wait so long that they get time to set up. And this is the problem with this build right here is you gonna die. Well, we almost didn't die because spells missed on the enemy team, but Kale shows up level 15. You know, like I feel like we could have exerted a lot better macro. He is playing this like an Udyr with Demonics Embrace tank. You know, with that kind of Udyr is a pick-based Udyr. So they're gonna get the dragon from this. And Udyr, out of base, goes straight for the Baron, which I love. I love it. This is a good call. We've gotten the dead man's there, so not a lot of synergy and atomization, but I still like the Frozen Heart. When you got a Warwick and you got a Twitch. And Frozen Heart's better on Udyr anyway, because of haste. So you definitely want the Frozen Heart in this particular case. Hugely valuable item. We're worried a little bit about the Lux ult, but we're able to... I don't know what's going on with the League Direct, it's pretty awful. Do we just say okay? Right? We just say okay. Okay, cool. So to make sure we say okay. The Lux steal is definitely something that's real. But we get it, which is huge. And I like the call. Gutsy call, direct call. We need to make things happen call. Don't let them take your camps at all. Again, not meant to rhyme or match. Okay, I want 16. But I do think, even though this has been a really solid game, and we're up 210 CS, this is great. Do you not see where we could have 300 CS almost? Like, we could easily have 300 CS. We should have more macro pressure. And the way we've been playing and pathing, we're not engaged in these fights. Like, why are we farming? Like, we have Baron ready to go. Let's go. Why are we, like, farming when our team is ready to fight and do stuff? You know, and I think disengaging yourself from these kinds of plays is not good. It causes you to stay silver. Because you're either in this fight with the right build, the Demonics Embrace tank builds, right? And you're just absorbing, disrupting, and killing all, which, trust me, you would have done here. Or you're exerting a lot of pressure here with your Kale and other split pushes so that this never happens. And if it does, you're ending the game. But you should not be sequencing down as a damage-focused Udyr, split push-focused Udyr when there's a fight and a wave. You know what I mean? Like, we were never going to get to this wave, which is besides the point, but more about earlier, right? Now we've got a base. We have Baron, so we can hold. We get hooked, obviously. We get flayed. We get stunned. And now we're super not tanky, which is why this build is not good for these kinds of things. And Kale gets ulted by the Warwick because of us. We run way too far away from her. And you could easily lose the game here. That's why I'm saying, like, this build is great if you know the macros. But if you don't know the macros and keep running into them 1v5, this is what happens. So, hopefully you see some of the macro plays we could have made in this game with this build. Hopefully you see how the... Game's not over. Hopefully you see how this build, when executed incorrectly, causes you problems. But we at least hold for a little bit. Alright, now you're on the back foot. Now you're on the back foot, right? So they're going to wave clear and wave clear and wave clear until the next dragon spawn, which will be soul point. There's no... you're going to make sure there's no wards here, so always scan, leave a control ward, because if they got TPs, trust me, people like me are looking for that TP. And if I'm a Rengar jungle, I'm literally probably here already, just going for this, and it's over, so you gotta be very careful about the back doors in these kinds of games. Right, last fight, let's see what happens. See, Udyr just runs in, says, I will assassinate the bear, which he can do, right? But it's a pick-based build, right? It's a pick-based build. You're looking for someone out of position, you annihilate them. You quickly go in, you use your powered Awakened Q, and you shred them, right? You absolutely shred them. Problem is, he's going in here using these spells, alright? And it's a 3v1. He's super squishy, so once he CC'd, it's doomed. You are effectively an assassin Udyr at this point. You gotta play it like that. You gotta just run at people. Better to play tank if you're gonna play like that. So we've taken ourselves out of this fight entirely. Lux ults, fortunately the Kayle presses the R button, and Kyle shows up here, double knock for the Yasuo. Kale's now the backline dishing out the DPS, but is it going to be enough? Well, it is, because the red team decided, hey, let's just keep chasing the Kayle. And as I said, oh, poison tick, oh, they heal, and oh, Yone. Yone. Woo, he saved that one for clutch times. Quickly gonna snack this up, gotta watch this super wave, but Udyr should be available. This wave's crashing on the top side, so we are definitely being carried right now. But that's why I told you earlier, hey, if I had done that pathing at 6 to 12 minutes a little better, I can snowball the Kayle quicker. She gets 16 first, so I have a bigger lead. There's none of this team fighting set up, and I've created this macro scenario where all I have to do is push. And that's kind of what you're looking for. There is a coaching session in the coaching VOD library about that as well. Now, it seems it will come down to one more fight. Finally decided to get ourselves some MR. Magic resist for the Lux, as well as the hybrid damage of the Volley Baba. Cow goes in. Nice flank by the Cow. Kayle is rotating over here. Yone is going onto the Thresher. We're just going to kill the target in front of us, which is great. See, we're running at them like we're a tank. We're just running out of Lux. Like, you can't do And now the Twitch is rinsing us. We're forced to... Whoa, I don't think we needed the ult there, Kayle, but if we're forcing our Kayle to use ult on us, that's terrible. You know, that's terrible. It's not good for us. So I feel like the Udyr had such an exemplary early and decent mid, but the late has been very, very bad. Bad macro, bad team fighting, bad farming, placement, everything like that. And Kayle kills the rat. Warwick was atrocious. Build is still atrocious, actually. This is an old build that we kind of talked about, but you don't need to do this anymore. But we are AD Udyr, so the one thing we can do, as you see, look at this. Yes, hit. Now we could have ended 10 minutes sooner. Just a bit of the same thing, like, this is what you're good at with the champion. When you build like this, understand the difference. So, a lot of stuff that will show you what silver jungling is like. If you fix it, you will be gold. In the next one. And in this one, we have a gold Lee Sin versus a gold Kayn, two of the most popular junglers in the game. Maybe the two most popular junglers in the game over the past few years, ever since Kayn came out. Now, in this particular game, you're looking at a Lee Sin getting leashed, right? You're seeing this, and then you look at the red side, you're like, okay, Kayn is probably being leashed on this red. Cool. You press tab and you see level 1, 0 CS. Huh, guy was a little AFK, or did he go back to base, forget his jungle item? Who knows? The Kayn was in the game, forgot his jungle item, went back to base to go ahead and get it, and now he's late. So the reason why we are going with this one is because in high elo, if you get a tempo advantage, you use it. If the enemy jungler makes a mistake and gives you tempo in any way, you abuse it. Will the gold jungler do thusly, or will he waste it doing, well, nothing? Let's have a look. We have a Teemo top lane. We have a Swain mid lane versus Malzahar. And obviously we have here the Ezreal Lux. Disgusting lane, but we have a Twitch Lulu. So yeah, you never know how that works out for you. The Kayn is now finished with his Krugs going to the red. And the Lee Sin is finishing his walls at 2:28 and crossing over right in the middle at 2:30.5 seconds. Not the best. Not terrible, but not the best either. I usually say when you are in gold and platinum, you should start thinking about at what time do enemy junglers cross the map. Because now, for example, if you went to go ahead and say do Raptors red Krugs, and you go ahead and gank this lane, and you do it at, 2:35, 2:40, 2:45, whatever, and then you see the enemy jungler has started on the blue side, did you start the gank off by the time they had already crossed over? In which case, when they see you, will they have time to vertical? And that's the kind of stuff you need to think about. Now, mostly in these elos, I always say 2:30 is like a good measurement. So once you gank your bottom lane super quick, and it's 2:30, 2:35, 2:40, most likely the gold platinum jungler is just going to be doing the Raptors red. It's not worth for them to invade your blue side, because also, look, Swain has Giga Prio here, which is great for him. But the Darius, while low, If he isn't, could easily rotate. The Malzahar could easily rotate, cut in front of the Swain. Swain can't go through here, right? The Swain has to go round, whereas Malzahar can come through. And if you want to understand how to apply these champions and information to your own game, I have a free jungle improvement resource, as well as a dedicated program where we have jungle video courses, jungle coaching VOD libraries that has weekly free video content seen nowhere else, as well as Q&As and patch note rundowns, as well as a private jungle Discord. And if there's one thing I'm good at, it's converting junglers to gold, to emerald, to diamond, to master plus. If you want to climb faster than anyone you know, jungle div every game you play, click the link below or head to virkayu.gg. So from Lee Sin's perspective, even if that is the case, it's not always worth doing that. It's better just to finish your full clear significantly faster and try to get tempo in a different way. However, if someone does commit to a red side quadrant gank, you know, Raptors, Red Krugs ganks, bottom lane spends a lot of time here, and you are the Lee Sin and you cross over like 220, you have time, right? You have Prior mid, you've got a chunked Darius on the top side against his Nemesis Devil counter in the Teemo. Okay. And so basically you could actually get in his face here a little bit. So do think about that. I'm not saying don't, I'm just saying think about the tempo advantage, and he should die from this. Oh, he lives. Oh, okay, doesn't live. Okay, excuse me. He's dead. Coach, by the way. So the Lee Sin finishes off his Krugs at 332, Astro slow. The Kayn has not done the most exemplary clear, obviously because he was delayed, but still, like, he's within touching distance here. And I feel like when the Lee Sin sees the Kayn down there, okay, here comes the Kayn. Do we have a bit of fisting action? Let's have a look here. We hit the Q. We get that bonus missing HP. Should the Kayn even begin wasting time on this? No. You know that you were delayed for whatever reason. Invade, reset, bad luck, you know, hailstorm, earthquake. You finish off your Gromp. You know, 340, that crab's gone, right? Like, you don't even need to know that, Lee Sin. Like, you know it's gone. So what you do is you go straight back to base right now, and then you try and cut him off here. Because most likely he will double scuttle you, but he might try and gank your bottom lane if it's gankable. And if it isn't, then you can always go ahead and gank other lanes, and obviously your Raptors are up first, so you can go to the Raptors first. You have fallback position. But now, I don't like the idea of shadowing him down. I mean, you can, but is this going to work out for you? And look, like, we're just kind of sitting here. The Lux is roaming as well. We could not have expected this one. Obviously, you got to track your back time. There's no real reason for this if you're the Kayn. You're just compromising yourself. Your one advantage over the Lee Sin is you clear fast. And you already caught some of that time up because the Lee Sin did a bad job. Now you're HP compromised. As I talk about a lot, the HP war, right? You're losing the HP war. Lee Sin goes in with his Q and then safeguards back out to the Lux. Kayn falls for the bait. Now it's forced to flash out. Swain really delayed hook there, mental brain lag. And now the Twitch is going to show out of the base, and the Lee Sin is greeting through this Raptor camp instead of saying, hey, I win now. I get the crab, I get to shadow bot lane, and so on. So basically, the biggest thing in gold I talk about in the courses is jungle denial. Through counter jungling, through invades, it's really like taking that to the next level. So the Lee Sin thinks about it here. Can't take your Raptors. Yeah. No. You got to track back times, you got to track roams. The Kayn thinks, hey, I lost the Scuttle Crab, but I can deny you the middle lane, gank, deny you the bottom scuttle, but you can't. So you got to know where you can and where you cannot. So this is what I'm talking about right here. You see this? This is so predictable all the time. I always mention it. If they full clear up and take the scuttle, like because you're delayed because you ganked bottom lane, right? Or you ganked mid lane, doesn't matter. Your full clear is delayed. Go back to base, and now you want the bottom scuttle. Maybe you'll get it, because maybe the jungler decides to gank top lane and die. Maybe the jungler decides to gank mid lane and gets chunked. And it buys you the time. If you go back to base immediately on finishing the Gromp, it buys you the time to get here. Maybe snack it up and fight over it, but you have itemization advantage, so you can beat him down. Or he goes for the bottom lane gank. And now, because you predicted this, you are already shadowing this. Maybe there's a gank to be had here. And now you're looking at the clock and saying it's 5:15. I mean, the probability that this happens at 5:15 is very, very low. But if you're basing at 3:30 on the dot, right? Think about it. The guy's going to go for double scuttle. It's going to sync up at 4 minutes almost perfectly. You should be able to do something if this is a gankable lane for the enemy jungler. And if it's a gankable lane for you, you just gank it. Cool, right? So now the Kayn has managed, right, to take some camps and go back out and do his business. He is compromised though. The Lee Sin's down here, obviously knows he can reset and take all this down, right? Decent invest. Ward by the Lulu stops his back. He cues the mini wave and goes for that cut, which is weird because his bot lane haven't seemed to notice this. And also, they might want a base, man. Look at your bottom lane here, right? If they got a decent amount of gold and no mana, it's doing the camera thing again. Then what you want to do is not go for this, man. Just leave, go back to base. But the Kayn should see this. Like, look when he sees this. When do we see this? All right. So let's track the Lee Sin fully. All right. We see the Lee Sin here. Now we see him here. You're leaving base right now. do you stop to do your wolves? Think about a full clear timer, and if you used to be silver, which you hopefully were because now you're gold, or you're watching this whole video all the way through, all the coaching videos, or the mega one on the main channel, 4 minutes 20, the grub respawns. 4 minutes 30 to 4 minutes 45, this respawns. 5 minutes to 5 minutes 10, this respawns, maybe under 5 if they're quick. And then obviously you got this around your 5 minute 30 to 40, depending on, you know, if they do red first and things like that. But you know categorically that this is up because it's 5:32 on the clock, which means you know the Krugs will be available. So, you see the Lee Sin here. Let's go, Kayn. Use your E, my friend. Come on, get him back on the field. Let's go. You don't need to do your wolves. Don't even bother doing your wolves here, right? You're waiting. You're waiting. You're waiting. You're wasting time. You're waiting. You see him. You could already be in here. You're doing it. You're doing it. You're doing it. Now, you see him go this way. You know 99% he's going to go back to base here. But I think we got time to do all of this. But what you got to do is also understand that there is a coin for the chance, as you see from him here, that he can go to his bottom side camps because he hasn't done any of them, right? He hasn't done any of them on the second repeat, on the second sequence. So he could easily be going down to this, up again, or he could be coming down. Depends on the jungle, depends on the tendencies, depends on the map, depends on the win condition. But we have now spent the time doing wolves and grub. I want you to try and extrapolate in your mind, could we have taken the Raptors and the Krugs first, the outside in rule? The outside in rule here is perfectly encapsulated because if you go to this, and then maybe gank this and loop back down here, if the Lee Sin shows top lane, there's nothing. But if you do the Wolves Grump and now go here and he does show up here, he has Doran's Blade and a pickaxe, and he's got a Swain there, and your mid laner's base, you die. Shouldn't die, but you might. Point flip. So a perfect outside in rule example, where this guy feels like, oh, he did swap over to the Krugs. He's kind of tracking. He's like, oh, Kayn should be taking my shit. And there we go. Now they meet. Here we go. Now, obviously, this is more about levels as well as mechanics. So we don't really want to look at the Kayn and be like, wow, he's so much stronger than the Lee Sin over here. But Orbs, and he is stronger. We know we can win 1v1, which is fine, but it's not about the Lee Sin winning 1v1, is it? The Teemo is super low, so he can't rotate over to this. Why put yourself in this position? I know now you're looking at this, like, but Virkayu, look, this Swain, you know, the Kayn wins, he lives, he escapes. No, it's not about, oh, does he? What am I witnessing mechanically? Okay. Lee Sin went back in, woo, he dies. But Swain will get juiced from this, I think. Pop goes the weasel. This is it. Too many times, people watch this kind of shit, and the Kayn just kills the Lee Sin. They're like, see? Easy move. I'm like, but that was unnecessarily risky, because what if you misplayed it, or what if he got kills at the bottom lane and comes out with more than what he had? Here he was down a level, and you have Dirk, which makes you stronger, more powerful, more potent, and you've got Conquer fully stacked much quicker than the Lee Sin, who was missing his spells going in and out, and like not understanding his mechanics at all. That's fine and good. If you can beat him 1v1 here and you know it, cool. But the problem is, it's not just you, it's your laners. And I'm really, really happy the Swain rotated, and I'm really, really happy the Swain went 2-0-1, because you are the reason for that. I don't care that you could have beaten the Lee Sin. I don't. It's not Malzahar's fault. Now, Malzahar has lost so much from this. This is single-handedly lost mid lane. Completely. And the Swain not only gets this, the Malzahar loses their level 6 spike that you could use to maybe do some damage, roaming, otherwise, whatever. And now you're on the bottom side. So, again, outside the rule. Snack, full back. Lee Sin comes here, it's gone. He's forced to cut down to this. Now you're already shadowing all the way down here. He's going to maybe force a gank here. You cut him off, or you go and invade him here, or you just gank mid lane. There's so many things you could do. Now, Darius shows up and says, hello! Kills him. Because Swain had a big lead, and why go back to base and spend the gold when you can die to the top laner? And also, he's so compromised from the Teemo, it's a bit unfortunate. You see the pings from the Darius here help. I mean, what are you gonna... I don't understand laners who do that. Like, you just left your lane to roam and do a good thing. Like, good job. This is what you meant to do, right? The lane is toxic. Literally, leave. Go do something else somewhere else. And he did. Cool. Don't ping your jungler to hold your wave for you like he's down here. I mean, could he sometimes? Sure, but it's not always what you want to do. Now, the blue side bottom lane here is pushing this up. Lee Sin is level 6 here, so he's going to look for this. Why didn't you just go for the kick? They lined up perfectly too. You could have just given them a nice smack. Like, you didn't have to save your kick for a blue moon. This was the perfect time to hit a double kick, 3 kills, yeah, whatever. And now we can do a dragon, hopefully. So the Kayn here, okay, from the Kayn's perspective, we do these first, then we counter jungle, then we meet him, then we fight. Then everybody dies. These camps are down. You know Lee Sin's going to go to the bottom side. Now you go and do this upward. You don't think about bottom lane shoving up here, you've just taken yourself out of the tracking game, and you just go for a full sequence blindly. But you need orbs anyway, so all of this, because he didn't use that proper counter jungling tempo, and because the Lee Sin gave away a lot of his intentions, and walked over many wards, but the blind and the shroom. That's why you've got a path in the direction of the lanes that can actually do some damage. Your Twitch was 2-0-0, and you have to think, okay, look, Lee Sin's gonna be on the bottom side. There's a dragon on the map. I got a Fed bot lane. My Darius is being not inting, but he's being smurfed upon by the Teemo. I lost mid lane solo with my invade. Maybe I can gank from my Twitch and Lulu here, or just stop the Lee Sin killing him, help himself into a dragon. Well, maybe I can do that. You've got to think outside the box in that sense. You can't always just go for these hyper-aggressive invades, die to laners, and then complain about your laners inting. You know, you compromise them so severely. And you can do that, play for your lanes, play for yourself, and deny the enemy jungler, and it's really simple to do. You just got to look for those triggers, and that's what we're working on in this training, isn't it? Now, we're going for the Ezreal here, who will Arcane Shift, obviously. We don't have an ultimate, so we're full committing just with the Twitch. I mean, how easy was that? All you have to do is Shadow earlier, you get a Dragon too. Lee Sin takes a Dragon, now says, yo, I'm gonna do this red. Knows Kayn's on the bottom side. Could easily go for this Herald play, but decides, hey, let me snowball this Teemo a little bit quicker. I do have my kick available. It would be available again, even if he's on the bottom side. We just need to have that blind go through. There we go. Oh, he's forced to Ghost and Flash. We'll take them apples. Now he's running through the jungle, looking for someone to help him. Malzahar is like, nope. Kayn is not thinking about the Herald whatsoever, no denial. And from Lee Sin's perspective, obviously we would assume that Kayn should be coming up here, but, you know, you just keep your eyes open. Watch for the heal, or are we gonna die to him here? Woof. Close, but he does hit the Q, so we get that bonus missing HP effect. Now, Kayn on the other hand is like, okay, I'm gonna camp bottom lane here. There we are. Okay. Cool. But now you fed an Ezreal. Do you really want to fit your bottom lane? Your bottom lane are back in base. Your bottom lane are not in the picture. And the Lee Sin sees this occurring and it's like, you know, I don't want that Herald. The Herald's too much work. I mean, your Teemo just took this turret. Kayn is dying bottom lane. You're doing Krugs to resustain up. Just go do the damn Herald. Take the Herald. Please, I beg of you. And then, sure, you could look to counter jungle here thereafter, but, you know, with the Kayn coming out of base and respawn, maybe you don't do that. But most importantly, why didn't we go Krugs into the Herald? That's the play, right? Do the Krugs into the Herald, snack it up, go back to base now, come to the bottom lane. Can we snowball this mid laner and really kick the ass out of the Malzahar and maybe do some damage here with the turret, with the Herald? Or do we go and kill the Twitch again while Kayn goes topside and farms? So the Kayn is taking himself out of the game. Completely terrible, disgusting atomization. Lee Sin, it's difficult to go wrong. You just go drink a black cleaver and enjoy yourself. You can also do Sterix. But atomization, as I said, follow your best. Don't try and think outside the box too much. And you see how we just play for farm too much. You know, we don't rotate to free kills when we have them. We don't counter jungle when we should. We're, you know, it just adds up. And the Lee Sin, I like this. But imagine if you were here with the Bountiful Herald or something like that. You know, really sexy. Bring that money. Oh. Well, you know, mechanics will improve over time. And you know, you want to laugh at him for doing that? I don't. I say honestly, look, it's funny to watch and it's a bit funny. We laugh about it together, but we don't laugh at him. He had that Q though. You've got to practice these dives, man. You've got to practice them. You see this dive, go for the dive, practice your mechanics, go for it. Here we go. Nicely, there you go. You see, you got to get in there. So he messed it up initially, but then he went back in and now he hits it. So now he generates confidence from this, evidence that he can do this. Darius is moving on down here, obviously, so this is a bit of a rough spot for us to be. Which is why we kind of want the Herald. There's Darius. Ghost is activated. If we had the Herald here, there'd be no turrets, so maybe we would have a better situation, but we do die. It's, you know, it is what it is. Kayn, in the meantime, is... Kayn did something somewhere. Where did he do it? I want to know, because I stopped watching and paying attention. No, he's just chasing down the level 11 Teemo. We're watching the dive of the Lee Sin talking about that, and I'm looking at the camera, looking at you guys, but hey, now we can counter jungle this as well. No, this is fine. But you shouldn't be only up 8 CS as Kayn over Lee Sin, right? Like, you should be, you should have a lot more CS than that. Again, no one's taking the Herald. Why doth thou hate Herald, noble gold gamers? Useful. Get more gold with it. So you don't have to actually be gold. I mean, it sounds like poetry that writes itself. The worst haiku ever, but it works. So now we leave the base here as Lee Sin. We're going to have 9 left on our pet. I was going to say 10, but 9. Kayn's almost done with his pets at this particular stage. I have no issue with us giving up, you know, our bottom side quadrant here for his Krugs, for the Herald. And now we're just so far behind. It's nice that we have Malzahar ulti. Obviously, that was a good W there. The Twitch should be able to finish that off. That's great as well. Nice rotation. Look, the Darius is lost lane handily. But I'm glad that he left lane looked to make plays, because the Kayn wasn't doing it until right now, and the Teemo isn't doing it at all. So you give him this, and you try and win other lanes as the Darius. I like that. Take the dragon, and I think that might be a game-winning play. Game-winning roam by the Darius, and actually the Kayn got involved. Nice W as well. Let's have a look here. So now he goes for the Herald, but it's stupid, because the Lee Sin should be running over this game. The tempo we got early from first clear, the missed heralds here earlier when Kayn was running down bot lane twice. Like, we lost counter jungling from the Lee Sin. We lost the herald from the Lee Sin. We lost map control from the Lee Sin. You know, and now the Kayn is up 2 levels because of those counter jungling moments. And we can say, look, were they good? No. But the fact that he did them is important. So, like pizza, even the bad ones, still pretty good. Counter jungling, yeah, there's perfect counter jungling, but some counter jungling, hey, still pretty good. It's better than 0, you know? And our farming has gone up drastically, and now we're goon squatting together already with our Twitch, with our Darius, with us. When it takes some more camps when the Lee Sin dies, this is good escalation, right? We've gotten form now. We're using this as we translate into the mid game from 12 to 16 minutes. Very nice. Very nice. And that's the thing. Your early game doesn't define you. I mean, it does higher up. Like, your early game needs to be good. If you have shit early games all the time, you're not going to climb to a certain level, right? But can't int lanes. And I think the last 2 videos you've seen, the inting of lanes is the issue, right? Twitch kills Astral. You know, Lee Sin, Kayn, the last one as well, the Udyr, the Warwick, like just dying to laners unnecessarily through invades, bad ganks. That's why your lane is int a lot of the time. And when you miss opportunities to really shut down an enemy jungler, big. But hey, when it comes to 17 minutes, 20 minutes, it's less about that and it's more about how you, like, are you sure you want to do this? Like, you're not exactly in position to go do these things now. Now the Lee Sin counter jungles. When he's down 2 levels. Kayn's afraid of him. Why? Just go and kill him. Go and kill him. Like, he's got no kick. We saw him kick, so go ahead and kill him. Malzahar is also showing up here. These guys way too deep. There you go, free kill. We have, that was, looked like he tried to get out, but someone could have been coming the other direction, so always pay attention to that. Lux and Swain are here. I think Blue Kayn did Blue Kayn things, which is why the champion's frustrating, right? Like, he should not be in a position to win this game, but at the same time, he's up 3 levels now. And he deserves to be up 3 levels. The Lee Sin just shouldn't have allowed it. That's the issue. Take home that message. An important one. Split push on the top side. 3 people collapsed. Kayn's doing his camps while he waits for his bottom lane. Let's go join them. Goon squad, push this wave up. Push bottom wave up because, you know, see, you can let the Twitch goon a little bit while you push this wave up, and then they can all dive. And you have Herald too, so it doesn't really matter. But I'm glad, as a team, they're on the same page here. You know, like the Kayn flanked and the Twitch caught the wave, and they've got the Herald, so that's all good. But we're doing Grump. I mean, I feel like we could have... It's good to drive the wave states, because you're not always going to have a Twitch that cuts down and catches it. You catch it, push it up, activate the Herald, they goon squad, you all shove up together. Now it's 4. Really drive this Herald home. It's worth losing this. Anyway, so just to drop back, because we see this shove here, we can do nothing about this. This one here we can see, so someone does have to go back to base. I'm pausing as he does it, which ruins the point, but the whole idea is, okay, look, the Darius is dead when he shouldn't be if we play that properly, obviously. The Malzahar is dead but will respawn. We can still have a really nice shove here as a squad and have numbers advantage in this situation because you killed the Ezreal, right? 1-2 here, so you know that at most you're going to have 2 down here. So if you maintain a 3v2, 1-person basis to handle this, most likely will have to be Darius and Malzahar together. Maybe you can get more, but you got to read the room. And the room says, Kayn, we want to leave. The Herald's not going to get more pushes than that. We're going back to base. Kayn says, I'm a stay, gets kicked there, and nice root by the Lux, and will die. Will he die? He will die. So, Teemo also dies, and they hold the inhib, which is perfect. It's exactly what we wanted, but the Kayn now dies no reason. I know what he was looking to go for, but we didn't set that up properly. Once we lost to Darius, it makes it more difficult to do that. And then he didn't read the room when his team left. Costly, costly, costly. Lee Sin, in the meantime, says, look, I gotta catch these waves. Good. I like that. Yep. Catch the waves, leave the situation. We have 2 dragons. So if I'm the Lee Sin here, as Ezreal dies and kills the Malzahar, and the Twitch shows up over here, and the Teemo shows up after respawning. If I'm the Lee Sin here, alright. Little ult. Nice flank. Whoa, unlucky that didn't hit. I wanted to go for a Baron. Okay? I want them to take this dragon here. And I wanted to reset, spend gold, and go straight to Baron. Maybe use my Teemo and my Swain to at least guarantee that objective. Give them a dragon for a very free one. Maybe then we can shove this down pretty easily with Teemo split push. We can shove this down as well. Now, this flank is good, but obviously here everyone knows you're on the Baron, so there could be steals. And I get very nervous against Kayns and Echoes and things like this. You can't coin flip this. You got to make sure you stop and turn. Don't flip it. Don't give it to him for free. But you take too long doing this. You don't commit to one direction or another. You know, you're going to lose the dragon. You're going to lose the Baron. You're going to lose everything. So let's see. Can he steal it? Should be able to. It's pretty easy. Roop. Yep. Well, the Lee Sin has a smite up, but the Kayn still kills Lux. Champion, man. There you go. As the Lee Sin, I feel for you. You're down 3 levels, and I was eviscerating the Kayn for jungling badly. So how are you down 3 levels against the Kayn jungling this badly? That's because the badness of his jungling was not exploiting you and how terrible the Lee Sin's jungling was. Jungle denial. We still did it. Could have done it stronger. And I think that's important because you always want to do it harder. Better the jungler, the more effective it will be. And those margins for error kind of go down. In terms of, you know, if you're the Kayn here and you punish the Lee Sin, cool. But if you don't, and this Lee Sin's good, he'll equalize you pretty quickly. And he's not down 3 levels. He's the same level or he's ahead. The dragon's available. I sort of prefer kind of not doing the Baron until I know they're on the Drake. Like giving this Hextech Drake is okay, I think, for sure, especially with Baron. Because you got this, you got a really fed Teemo. We want to punch it and end. Dragon Soul's not going to enter into it. Alternatively, you just go simple. You say, guys, let's just do the dragon. Don't force the Baron. Just do the dragon, get it, 3rd one easy fast. Full back. We'll fight over the next. We'll fight over the Baron next. Easy way to do it. Now, Ezreal does hurt. There's no real reason to lose a smite to a Kayn W over the wall with 400 HP on it. The Kayn could have very easily used his mobility to go in and out and around and smite it without necessarily just only using the W, but alright, the Lee Sin gives him a free one as well. Swain's pretty strong. Darius is not caught up again, but Kayn is fed. Nice heal. And another one. Lessons for top laners. If you're being shit on, don't ping your jungler because you are being shit on. Yell at your jungler when he dies to the Teemo. Like, that was not good. But leave the lane, make impact, be the jungler, especially if your jungler isn't doing what he should be doing. The Kayn is lucky. He's 655. He's got a lot of econ, he's got a lot of levels. It hasn't been the most fluid, but he is doing what he should be doing now. And that's all that matters, right? Should we be in the situation? No, but given we are, we should do the best. We should do our best job. Which he's doing, which is cool. We like it. So, free Baron, free Dragon, free counter jungling, up 3 levels, does literally 0 damage to the Lee Sin. It's a different time, man. 6 months ago, that was a one-shot already. Gorge Rinker, Death's Dance, lack of damage overall in the game. Interesting to note, actually. Twitch, though, in an AoE, ratatatata, pay and spray, he says as he gets the kills here. Lee Sin shields himself. Lux, obviously, quite the queen of disengage, but you can't do that forever. Ooh, close one. Kayn's nerfs, you can see the Kayn's nerfs. You can see the game change and the Kayn nerfs and how strong they feel in the situation. Ezreal's a little tilted, so he's going for the split push. So we just take everything. Nice comeback from the blue team. Nice comeback. Base is well done. Good base as well. I like it. Lee Sin now has no camps. Perfect. That's exactly why you do that. Darius got to be careful on the split push here because we know the enemy team will be respawning, coming at us. He goes back to base in the stupidest place. Just walk away, walk away, walk away. Don't go here, obviously, man. Just walk down, far away. Keep walking if you're nervous. Now we die, no reason. That's okay, though. We got a Twitch. We got a Lulu. We can relax. There's nothing to do. Hold waves, push waves, look for a pick, maybe. Be careful, though. They have numbers. We don't. They do. So, Lulu doesn't realize it. Does flash, though. There the Lee Sin goes in. Ults herself. Haste is so strong on fighters. He should hit another one. Should be a dead Lulu. Stupid, man. There should not be this much haste on fighters at all. I understand you want rotational spells, but like this is insane, right? The EQs and Shojins make it worse. Little use flash. This was not the best Malza ultimate. No. Twitch goes all in here. They're chasing down the Mals now. We're trying to peel the Swain as much as possible, but obviously the more he's in the ult, the more the dust stuff, so we just kill the team out to be done with it. We get rooted by the Crow guy. We're gonna wait for that. Just wait for it. Ditch, find another target. Don't coin flip yourself. Lee Sin's out of position. A little bit of a fiesta here. Kayn just says I'm gonna go farming. Next dragon's up. There you go, Darius Dunkings. And death. Kayn now regenerates. 3 people dead, 2 people up. Flash for a flash. There you go, don't flash the W, you know it's dead. And blue Kayn strikes once more into the hearts of gold players. Terrible jungler gets away with it because he's playing blue Kayn. But at the same time, you had more than enough opportunity to punish and destroy, and you didn't. So we'll take this dragon. Lee Sin shows up. Don't even bother, man. Just take your blue side. Take your blue side. Baron's up. Let's go do that. Okay, so it looks like it's devolved a little bit into a low-quality game, which I think is the case. And, you know, the red team gets nothing more. They get Baron. They just shut down an end. Pretty straightforward. So, learn a lot about yourself in terms of what you're missing, in terms of punishing enemy junglers. And, you know, if you're not doing that, just keep looking, because you will miss some stuff. Like, the Kayn missed some stuff for sure when he made aggressive plays, but the fact that he's thinking about these things is still good, you know? And again, bad counter jungling is still better than no counter jungling. You know, bad plays that you're trying to make that help you learn as a jungler, like the turret dive on the bottom side with the Lee Sin, even if you mess it mechanically, it's good to try and get better. And of course, he was rewarded for that as well. So lessons for both. Onward to Platinum, my friends. See you in the next one. A jungler stuck in silver for 9 seasons came to me looking for a way to finally break free from low elo. I said, no stress, getting gold is what we do, and he said, no, I want platinum, and I want to do it in 30 days, because that's all I have left to play.
I don't have much time, I got to the 21st.
I said, hey, that's a lot of habits to break and rebuild, but naturally I agreed without hesitation. So most would say a month is not enough time to actually get this done, but with ambition comes focus, and so I'm gonna break down exactly what I told him so that you can use it, and we'll see if he actually reached his goal or not. The challenge will be conducted with Shyvana, and then we would also use Graves, as this wasn't about escaping silver on a streak, but mastering the game quickly. Obviously, if you have a streak, typically you'll go back down a little bit, but doing these things at the same time definitely was challenging. Aside from hitting gold for 1 day in Season 9 using an ADC, he has truly been low elo for 9 seasons as a jungler, using Shyvana, Graves, Kha'Zix, and Evelynn, and this includes reaching only silver in Split 1 of Season 13. That's right, I'm going to show you 5 game-changing strategies that fueled an astonishing transformation you would never expect. He contacted me and booked his sessions on July 22nd, and if he didn't reach it, he had put a challenge to himself that he would then focus on other games entirely. So for the first thing, we had a total habitual swamp. Broken mechanics, broken tracking, terrible team fighting, no macro whatsoever. Winning games when you're doing these things, or rather not doing these things, is kinda difficult. Early game was suffering, but while the concept takes time to work on making this perfect game plan, understanding ganking and matchups, we could easily get him some wins by winning games that low and mid MMR players are not capable of closing normally. That means even if you're not having a particularly good game, there are always windows to come back and make good plays using a few simple principles. This alone would not give him the control to necessarily make this climb, but give him the free wins to begin generating confidence. Remember, confidence is generated from evidence. If you have evidence that you can do something, you begin to believe in your own self that you can continue to do so. And now if you generate evidence that you can win unwinnable games, that affects everything, because suddenly every game in your mind is winnable outside of obviously the ones that troll. I always use the 60-20-20 split, where 60% of games have direct impact and result based upon how we play, 20% of games are written off entirely from a troll or just AFKs, and that is what it is, and then the other 20% are where you play like a god, but you make one mistake and you lose, or you play like a raw potato mashed together with ants and you make one crazy play and you win. And when it comes to this particular tip, the way we kind of structured it was, listen, if you're 0-3-0 and you're having a rough time and you're looking at the mid game and the map looks kind of dire, what we want to focus on is those side waves and making sure your camps are protected. That's it. That's all he did. He would hold and push accordingly, he would sequence up and down, and he would only rotate towards his team if he believed he could actually make an impact. Even without proper macro, what he noticed was happening was, just by creating that pressure and getting himself guaranteed econ, even though he wasn't always present in those fights, he was getting stronger. The team was dying, they were going back and forth, he had people rotating to him, I just made sure that he was always sagging off, and he started to develop this understanding of how to keep his feet moving, how to continuously get golden experience. So the climb to gold began with a few wins. The second thing we now wanted to focus on was, if you are having a rough early game, but you understand the concept of jungle denial in the economy sense, i.e. counter jungling, counter objectives, snacking things when they are up while the enemy jungler commits sins, then we can probably have a good time. By that I mean, if the enemy jungler goes and ganks and dies, and you just sequence your own camps and basically don't use his death for anything, you are not getting that jungle denial. If he makes a mistake, he must be punished. We very much subscribe to the Imperial train of thought here, and you have to be the Darth Vader hand of death when it comes to enemy junglers' mistakes. So while he continued to still die and have rough 0% KP starts, at least his own econ began to increase. The previous point brought forward made him sequence better, and when the enemy jungler would go ahead and do a dragon, he would take a herald. When they shoot top lane, he would go counter jungle the bottom side. If they ganked mid lane and he couldn't do anything, he would gank a side lane. He was not interested in necessarily denial through invading and fighting in advanced tracking, but simply using basic tracking to see what they have done, where they are right now, and then use basic timers to understand, hey, I can now counter jungle you. If a jungler starts on the bottom side, sequences up, and then ganks the top side, and he started top side and sequences down, he knows at 4 minutes 20 or so that Gromp is gonna come up. And because most low elo junglers and low gold junglers are kind of slower clearing, that means he had time to gank a side lane and the bottom lane. Maybe he could take the Scuttle Crab, he could ward deep and then take the Grump and get out, and still reset to do his next sequence with enough time. This would be simple economical denial. And if the enemy jungler would say, I don't know, gank in the bottom side and he's sequencing down on the top side, he would say, hey, I know it's time to go and take some Raptors. And so he would. And then by putting himself in good positions through this counter jungling, by putting himself in good positions when the enemy jungler was dead, he was able to have good things happen. And in his words, he wasn't even sure why.
Yeah, 1 or 2 games, you know, I just stumbled into a counter gank because I was just around here, but not like I knew they were ganking, you know? So I was around and I could counter gank that only because I was around, not because I knew they were there, you know?
Yeah, exactly right, yeah.
So maybe that's also a perk of how I path. So I'm here when I need to be here, but still, I want to know, to understand how I understand the signs.
Simply by controlling his mid-game econ and late-game econ by absorbing pressure that isn't actually used by low elo players, simply by denying the enemy jungler basic resources while he gained them even though he didn't get any kills and good ganks, this allowed him to reach gold. That reliable income was overpowering. Now we had to get platinum. And if you can believe it, that only took us a few days. Doing a few sets of 5, doing some VOD review and understanding, hey, look at this thing working. I'm going to repeat the process. That's why I just made the video on the 80-20% rule. Don't overcomplicate things. 80% of your results come from 20% of your actions. So throw away the other 80% that's just noise right now and focus on the 20% that's working. And it is. The next step for us was to elevate the tracking to avoid those deaths that we had while maintaining our econ. Because remember, when we're dead, we get very little econ, so we had to offset his deaths with extremely risky plays, which did work. But now that we're going for the platinum run, other junglers would be able to be aware of this and maybe even counterplay it. As such, instead of just worrying about that 4 minute 20 respawn of Grump, we would take it to the next level. 4 minutes 35 to 4 minutes 45 Wolves, 5 minutes to 5 minutes 10 Raptors. We knew when these camps would come up again, and we would pace ourselves accordingly. Whenever a jungler showed, we would press tab and assess what clear he did. Hey, he shows top lane with 16 TS in both buffs. He did a 4 camper, but I saw him go red directly into the Raptors. So what other camps did he do afterwards? Most likely the Wolves and the Blue. Not a great clear, but that's what he did. That means that we have Kha'Zix and Grump most likely available. And again, you have to use these words, most likely, because you don't always know guaranteed what people do unless you have the vision. And by doing that, what we allowed ourselves to do was actually get more aggressive with their counter jungling, which positioned us in a better place to start to get earlier ganks. And because we were taking ganks that were more guaranteed through better tracking, and this is for first phase, second phase, early phase, we started to get more kills and less deaths. The deaths he had were because he was forcing ganks where junglers were going to show up because he wasn't tracking. The deaths were because he would take 2v2s that mechanically his matchup and him couldn't take. His risk assessment had gotten better, his tracking had gotten better, he started to reduce those deaths, and all of a sudden our early games are looking at 3-0-0 and we're popping off. So far, by ensuring that you are applying that pressure and econ gain in the mid game and the late game, you can win any game. By starting to focus your denial on the enemy jungle camps, by taking objectives when they're taking another one, you know, exchanging things either equal and greater, you always end up counteracting your deaths and making sure that their mistakes are punished because your feet are always moving. You then follow this with some more advanced tracking, and all of a sudden your early game plan, hey, I want to gank this lane after full clearing, becomes more successful because you can really understand what's available from the enemy jungler just by pressing tab and thinking where they're going to go next. This means the fourth point for us was we need to try and make the right plays. From this, we have really fully swapped over to the Graves. We were doing mostly Shyvana for the rest of the stuff because we couldn't really gank that well. We didn't have the best skirmish ability, so we basically said, let's pick a champion that will allow us to do those things in the mid and the late game, to do these things in the early game without the threat or the pressure of having to force gank. This worked wonders, but now as we are really trying to make a good push, we swapped all the way over to Graves. And the point of this was to stabilize our player and focus on enhancing his mechanics as per his request. The learning curve of Graves resulted in some pretty awful games due to the Shyvana allowing a specific playstyle suited to what I've mentioned so far. He also wasn't really punished for his playstyle and his champion. The more you climb, the more difficult it will become to execute the Shyvana, and we would need something that can allow us to be more proactive early and have the ability to actually control games. And this is all about making the right play whatever the game requires, to maximize not only the 60% of games we should control, but also focus on making those right plays in the games we're 1v9ing so we don't throw, or the games we're playing badly where we just need to make one pick to make sure we can hit Nexus. Graves is a different beast that rewards jungle knowledge, game knowledge, and champion knowledge, but being able to recognize the right play whether you're ahead or behind can ultimately win you most games, which other gold and platinum junglers are not doing, so when they mess up, you're there to pick up the pieces and stack more wins. You're witnessing some footage of exactly that. Kayn was having his way with him the whole game. The Graves did not really pop off and it was struggling to close out. Ended up being a deficit. Blue Kayn is really strong even after the nerfs with atomization, and when he's this far ahead, there's not much you can do. But the Blue Kayn, as all gold and low platinum junglers will do when they play assassins, they misposition, they go too deep, they try to assassinate something they no longer can do, and the whole blue team decided, let's coalesce and kill him. Graves hits a nice ult, that gives him a free Baron. The enemy team was offset from those death timers, and now they never had a 5v5 setup again, and they just pushed to end. This concept is so damn huge, it applies to early games, mid games, and late games. Understanding the right play to be made, and it's good to verbalize it because you have to be opportunistic. You know, a Lee Sin ganking bottom lane for literally the 3rd time in a row, and this gold Bel'Veth keeps farming and ignores Herald as Bel'Veth. Why is a Bel'Veth ignoring Herald when an enemy Lee Sin is on the bottom side? This is a gold game. Just giving it away for free. No reason. What would be the right play here? Oh, Lee Sin's bottom lane hugging it. I'm going to go ahead and take this Herald. Maybe counter jungle him. Maybe I can dive top lane. If nothing, I can use it mid lane, or I can go back to base and then help counter gank on the bottom side. We've seen these examples. We understand this stuff. And if you want a better understanding of what exactly I mean by, hey, what is make the right play? What is a good decision? I made a proactive versus reactive Agurin versus Dante's example explaining how those terms don't really mean anything unless you think of them in a specific way. That video will be linked below. And the 5th thing that we are currently working on today is utter early game domination. And now you said, wait, today you're still working with him? Yes, but it's after August 20th. Did he quit the game? No, he didn't quit the game. That's because, my friends, he reached platinum. And you were asking, wait, how many days did it take? 11, my friends. It took 11 days from him getting into the Virkayu.gg material to him getting to platinum. And this is the framework and the things that he learned in the order he learned them to do it. And now, because he reached his goal, he decided to stick around, and we are working on ultimate early game domination, using a simple game plan framework to either full clear or to red side quadrant into action, and only basically doing these two things. Using Graves to focus on these clears, using his mechanics, and learning his matchups for when he can fight, when he can obviously farm, when he needs to avoid these things, when to do what against other junglers. It's basically the fully fledged development of someone who's going to go from platinum to diamond, and we are laying that foundation right now. We met on July 22nd. By the time we actually reached our first coaching session on August 2nd, he reached platinum that very same day. He wanted to get it by August 20th, and he successfully did so. I will leave a link below to videos relevant to each of these points, and of course, if you're interested in having this journey yourself, go ahead and click the Virkayu.gg link in the description below to see his framework and how he did it. And remember, everyone's journey is different. Everyone will take a different jungle principle, whatever content they're consuming that resonates with them, that they then use to actually climb. They focus on doing this on repeat, learning it, mastering it, and then they adopt other principles as they keep climbing. Everyone's journey is different. Everyone needs different principles for their style, for their champions, for what they're looking for. But if someone has been stuck in low elo for 9 years, except for one day using a Caitlyn ADC in Season 9, and they could do it in 11 days from silver to platinum using jungle principles, so can you. Now, this Graves is a subject of a main channel video talking about how you can go from silver to platinum in less than 30 days. Well, technically it's 11 days in that video. Spoiler alert, but go watch it. Really good stuff. This is the same jungler now. So once he's finished his climb from silver to platinum, he went back to school. He's been quite busy. So our goal was in the long-term coaching and obviously course access and things like this was stabilize him. Because when you have such a quick streak, basically you go from any rank to any rank in 11 days and you jump like 1,000, 2,000 LP, very rarely do you stay there because you got a lucky streak, something was connecting in your brain, and then you free fall again. And then you climb again, and then you fall again. And you just climb a little bit higher each time. But he has been stable in platinum the entire time. He's gone up to P2, P4, P3, P4. And he keeps going back and forth in those ranks while he's stabilizing. But the growth is insane. and I'm going to show you the kind of growth we're looking to have if you've played silver and gold, now you're platinum, and you kind of want to measure where should I be as a platinum jungler if I'm ready to make that step up to emerald. This game will show you exactly the kind of good habits I want him to reinforce, and I want all of you to reinforce as well. So, we do have red side quadrant. We could look for a gank here. Obviously, that would be a good idea for us to do generally, and he has been doing that, but we also talk a lot about, where's the guaranteed econ? Should we full sequence? Lee Sin is now invading our blue. So, from our perspective, we don't see this. And this is why I like this kind of stuff, not only from the Lee Sin, but also from our Grace friend, because our Grace friend does this kind of stuff, except what he likes to do, red, Krugs, Raptors, invade on the red, do the killings, and then take some Krugs, and then take, the Raptors, don't do the blue side, go back to base, and then cut them off and prevent their counter jungling of his second respawn camps, okay? And that's a big thing to do, because you just leave your blue side up, and you just don't take it. Season 9 strategy, right? Really, really useful though. So the Lee Sin says, okay, look, I know the Graves is going to do those things. Maybe he could invade me. Maybe he could gank my mid lane. So why don't I just invade him? Now, when you are the Graves, you don't expect this. So typically you don't always ward, but I like against Kindreds and Jarvans and anyone else like that, I do like to leave wards early just so I know, hey, they're taking my stuff and I can play around it, especially as Graves, right? What this means though, when you get here, you see there's no flinching. This is what I like here about his growth. There's no flinching. Okay, Lee Sin stole my blue. All right, so if he gets leashed here and does my blue, he could be in the area. Well, I don't really care that he's taking my blue, because where's the Lee Sin gonna be now? Guys, think about it. Took my blue. Did he go red-blue? Was it warded at all? Did I see anything? Did he do red? Raptors Krugs blue? No, that would be he would have too much of a time delay to do that, right? So you keep adding up in your mind while you're doing Grump, where could he possibly be next? I would logically assume the guy's going back to his Raptors to the top side. In this case, that is what he's doing. We see it on the map, so a little bit of a spoiler alert, but he could also say, I know that the Graves is going to be coming on down here. Maybe I should trap and set up for a counter gank. But then what if the Graves doesn't show up if you're Lee? What if the Graves just goes mid lane, ganks, and invades your top blue side, thinking you're there and you're bottom lane? You lose so much. So these invades I don't like when they're done like this. Graves says, I don't really care that my blue was stolen. It is what it is. It was lost. I'll just gank the bottom lane. It's pushed up here. I'm going to use a Q against the wall to zone him up. Force a heal, auto attack there. A little bit of a weird E, but that's absolutely fine. Keep your spacing. Nice route. And another kill. Red buff tick. Thank you so much. Help them shove out here. Get the deny, I think, is huge. And of course, Lee Sin is now on the top side here. So, but Virkayu, you just said that the Graves invaded. Yes, the Graves invaded by going red, Krugs, Raptors, controlling this quadrant, knowing that they started here going up, and then cut in to intercede, kill, take, and now could either fall back to this as necessary, or could go back to base and defend counter jungling, or just counter gank, right? It's all about the control. If you go red, Krugs, blue, and the guy's sequencing down, now what? What if he doesn't gank? What if this isn't gankable? You want your Raptors, right? What about your blue side? What if he saw you and he cut back to your blue? Like, there's too many coin flip scenarios, so you've got to think about how you want to invade as well, and how you want to leverage that opportunity. So I do think we should have shoved bottom lane just for some extra, proximal experience for us, but also just to help the deny, because they'll be up, right? Lower decimal timers. We finish this, we can go back to base. There's a fight on the top lane. Lee Sin shows up. We press tab. 21 CS. That's pretty easy for us, okay? 20 CS is basically the red side quadrant, plus this 116, plus a Scuttle Crab. He still has the blue buff, but you click the blue buff, yes? When you see him top lane, this is very important, you click the blue buff and you go and hover, you see, you look at the time, it's really damn small on your screen, but in-game, it's on the top left, it's pretty big, and it has a timer like this that shows you when it's finishing. If he had just done his own blue, this would be pretty fresh, right? If he has done my blue, then it should be almost finished, which of course, as you can see, it is. So all Graves has to do is watch this, left click him as he's walking away, look on the top left, say, that's my blue, so you're going down to your blue. If you were in doubt. Like, we know that's our blue anyway, but if you were in doubt at all, right? So we know he's going back to this particular situation. We're okay with that. No stress, man. No stress whatsoever. We go Krugs. We look top lane. Can we do something about top lane? I think there's definitely a thing here that we are working on still is, okay, I lost my blue. Don't care. Just gank them. Go back to base. Cool. I've serrated Dirk. I've got a dagger. I'm happy. But the enemy top laner didn't go back to base yet and spent her gold. So she's sitting on 1,000 and she's staying to fight the Aatrox. Why would I spend my time doing Krugs, right? Like, look at this and say, okay, I'm doing my Krugs quickly. I have Smite and Dragon. Smite and Dragon, let's go. Because if the Lee Sin does stay in Shadow, which he won't be doing anyway, you kill him because you have such a big item advantage and your Graves. Yeah? So basically here, always look, if you're sequencing jungle, you've done a full clear, you've done a gank, you got a scuttle, and there's no counter jungling for you to do, and you can't gank mid lane, and you have to base. Now you come here. Can I gank or do something before I do the Krugs? Now, usually that isn't going to be the case, you know, but it could be, so try and use it. We do want level 5, right? So in this case, we're nowhere near level 5, because it was quite a relaxed early phase. We didn't stay out too long. We're nowhere near level 5. We need the Raptor camp that's going to spawn down here. You're waiting for the Aatrox. She's still shoving. Maybe she's going to go back to base. But you watch it as you're kiting up the Raptor, the Krugs here. Use your smite. Move to the left. Because you know Lee Sin did this, plus this, plus this, 20 CS before we get the 1 CS here in the top lane kill, you know he has to fall back to these camps. If he wants to sit here, I'll beat him. He has to go back to his econ. So we can easily do the Krugs, kill her. Now, in theory, you could also auto-shove this one for extra denial, but most likely you just leave him in the lane and you go down to your Raptors now. You keep your eyes on mid lane. Lee Sin's going to finish this off and go back to base. And now you're going to be in the bottom side. He's going to be in the bottom side. But you have higher experience and gold per minute at this point in time. So we don't go for this. Missed opportunity, 100%. Lee Sin now has the opportunity himself to do something about it. He won't. We decide, look, let's go and gank mid lane here. Yone uses that E, which means all we have to do is smoke screen that sucker, forces flash out, because if he doesn't, he would have got the ricochet on the Q. We flash the wall and just stick it to him. Hello, there we go. All we need to do is just absolutely relaxed auto attacks. We have E auto here, so it's Yone, but we'll get him, no stress. Now, we could go back to base, but wait, with 3-0-0, I've got my Wolves up, my Grump up. I know Lee Sin 99% should go back to base, but there is a school of thought where he stays out. We'll have a look here. Maybe we see that. Shadowing, going back to base, but we don't know. We don't know. From Grace's perspective, we don't know. So we decide to ensure that he cannot counter jungle our camps. We'll just make sure we take these away. It's unlikely he's ever going to do it, but I always like to maintain control of my jungle first and foremost. We see this pushing as well. So, Lee Sin should come down to the bottom side, either buying or not buying. We look at it, we're like, huh. Can I do Dragon here? Akali's in base. Why don't I go around the vision that I've seen? Have they ever picked up control wards? You know, this is tough, but in-game, whenever someone dies by your hand, or goes back to base or whatever, and you're busy doing Krugs and Raptors, and they show up again, you press tab, okay, they've got a control ward. Next time you press tab, there's no control ward. Sussy. You know they're warded. A lot of the times they will ward it before they show, so you don't actually know, but I mean, most of the time this push is warded. Can we just full commit? Heimer's out of mana. Lee Sin is trailing, did go back to base, went for the wrong sequencing direction. Heimerdinger has nothing, so we can hit that smoke screen. That's almost a decent Q. And of course, we avoid that dash, that Q from the Lee Sin with a side swoop of our E. Now we can just chase him down, front to back. Here we go. Getting that E cooldown from auto attacks up as high as possible. Can we go back in here? We've got a lot of time on our W, unfortunately. Q is available, but we're not in range. We need to keep autoing to keep our... we should be able to get another one. Drag back. Drag back. Nice. Watching mid lane the whole time with great jungling so far. 4-0-0. No risks. Lower risks, right? So yes, you can invade like the Lee Sin, but you got to understand what the fallback position is and what opportunities are you creating for the enemy jungler. And a Platinum, if you don't think about these things and track like the Graves does, you're going to lose out. Now, if he wants to be more Emerald and Diamond level, killing the Fiora here, taking this and doing the exact same thing he did afterwards, gives him 5-0-0, wins the top lane as well, or saves the top lane at least. Is better, right? So now we want to fall back to Dragon in theory, but obviously we've got a lot of things to ask ourselves here. Here's the question of the day. The Lee Sin just died. Alright, if you press tab and you track his CS, you kind of know what he's doing. Like, he did his Raptors, he did this, he's done his Raptors here when he showed up. His Krugs are available here at level 4, so, right, he did red, Krugs, blue, because the first two camps you do after the buff. So if you do red, Raptors, Krugs, or red, Krugs, Raptors, or you do blue, Gromp, Wolves, right, those Wolves, those Raptors, those Krugs, the first respawn camps will be level 4. The ones in the second quadrant you touch will be level 5, so we know he hasn't taken them again. In case you didn't know. I mean, you should know, but you have a backup strategy here. With this being done, go take his red too. I feel like we can be aggressive here because we've got our bottom lane. Go over the wall, drag this out, snack it up, go back to base, now go topside and control the Herald. And what you also do there is not only do you take his red away, you get 6 from it. You could get 6 on the wards here though. So you do get 6 on the wards, obviously. Well, we saw that, but I kind of pretended we didn't see it. But I think we could have taken the red. Because they're coming out of base now, you're already dragging it, you're dragging it, you're dragging it. You don't have smite, but I like this little risk here. I think this is nice because if he doesn't show up and he's going topside, it's free dragon for us. But our bottom lane want to reset, so I don't like coin flipping the dragon here, and I appreciate that he's going back to base. I think that's a really good decision. Because you know the Lee Sin, if he's smart, right? If he's smart, he's going topside to get the scuttle, to get the herald, to take your red. So all you want to do is maybe take his red base and go straight and defend yours. Let's see if that's exactly what happens here. Let's see. He goes straight for the Raptors, not for the red. Obviously, this is a high traffic zone. Good job with the Lee Sin. I like it. I like it. Getting his hands dirty a little bit. Graves is like, what exactly is he doing? Oh, hello, sir. Let me just hold my Q there because I know, obviously, you were going to ward hop. Pay attention to the mid laner, which of course we do here. He sagged off, and here's the thing. Half HP. A little bit low. But I haven't been tracking his sums or ult because you're not playing the game, and you're not going to track everybody's sums, but he's not entirely sure exactly what the Yone is doing, so he plays it safe. I know where Lee Sin's going. He's going into the blue side jungle. Can I slide on in? The Lee Sin wards. He plays a control win. I like it. Aggression. Watch the Fiora. Yone is obviously very clearly back in base here. Lee Sin Qs. Fiora isn't rotating at all. Dashing and dashing. Don't think we needed that dash. I think we should have dashed over the wall, gone straight for the Fiora. Lee Sin now is compromised, but I feel like we're comfortable in this 2v2, and I think we should be comfortable in this 2v2 at this particular stage. We chuck out the smoke screen, Lee Sin shadows, as we can probably expect. We have our ult available, which we do miss. We also miss a drawback on the Q, so mechanically we're still working on some things, but this is absolutely fine. This is absolutely great. The play is good, right? Don't misjustify a good play because you had bad mechanics, right? If it's a really great play and you're like, yes, this is perfect, I just misplayed it, do it again. Keep doing it until those mechanics get better. So from this, we can take the Herald. So I think to take that step up to Emerald, we keep up this measured aggression, good tracking, understanding what he's going to do, extrapolating intuition. Like he should go bottom side now 100% to do his right, to do those camps. Maybe he's going to do a dragon. So I can take his whole blue side if I wanted to, or I can reset and defend. Those are my decisions, right? Depends on the bottom lane here. And of course, Lee Sin does, in fact, go over the wall to do this. So maybe it was better just to do the blue side quadrant and counter jungle him. Problem therein is if we do that and waste too much time, maybe he doesn't do the dragon. Maybe he just runs over to my blue side and I lose it. So you got to mesh what you want to accomplish. And sometimes one of those options is the best play and sometimes the other one is. Here, I kind of like keeping up the denial. We're never going to control that dragon whatsoever. But might have just liked the blue and the grump at the very least, maybe into this. Could obviously shadow mid lane and stay out a little bit if you wanted to. But we had Noon Quiver in pocket, so this is the new build on the gameplay channel that I spoke about. You go with your Dirk for the fisting early, get yourself a Noon Quiver early if you're going to go farming, and then you keep those two, and you go for all the regular build stuff, Ghostblade into Collector, and then you build the Noon Quiver. So we go for some animation cancelling as best we can, but of course we're under the turret, and we're being chunked over. Go in, do it, yep, just my damage. We have Q up here against the wall, but most likely he's gonna ward hop over. We'll keep chasing him down. We got that Q. Oh, we get stunned by the Donger. And we do have the Herald though. But huge wave. Careful there. Caitlyn's coming down. Lee Sin goes back in. There we go. That was smooth. Well done. Beautiful. We hit the W, hit an auto attack, we hit the drawback Q, hit everything. Yone's a question mark again. Is he here? I like the respect. I think it's warded enough that we should be safe, but we don't know. So the respect he's giving the mid lane roams from the Yone, chef's kiss. Beautiful. Love it. Just doesn't go for a high-risk play unnecessarily with 7-0-1. Leaves his base, says, all right, I'm going to go all the way to this RNG Scuttle outside of rule. Things we've been talking about right now. We're using it more often. That's why we're playing him. We see the Fiora fighting the Aatrox, so we decide, hey, let's rotate to that and get the kill. We use a smoke screen. Space again. Free auto attack. Right. 12 minutes 47. We've got our Herald. Is this the lane we necessarily want to snowball? No, but I'm snowballing myself, not my Aaron, right? Lee Sin should be on the side, so if this isn't a play, go and invade his blue side and kill him, right? We're up 2 levels. Obviously, we should know he's here. I think the Graves is a little bit surprised by this, so lost the tracking here a little bit, but he's up 2 levels, so good plates. Lee Sin's in the wave now, gets level 8. We can, of course, go back to our red side. We watch where he leaves. He's going down to his, doesn't have his blue. So we quickly snack all of this up. And now we can just do Wolves and Grump as well and shadow bot lane. Because we have the Noon Quiver and the Dirk, we can be really, really quick about this. Ult is up again. Here we go. All we need to do is make sure we hit everything. Caitlyn uses her ult. Oh, the spell's an unfortunate miss. When he wasn't sure if he wanted to go for Heimerdinger, he wasn't sure if he wanted to go for the Jhin. Now we know that Yone is missing again. We know that Lee Sin could be sequencing down, could have gone back to base. So we need to make sure we're making the right play here and getting out. But Heimerdinger is kind of a tough cookie in this particular case. Here's the Lee Sin shows up. Here's the Yona shows up. But maybe we can turn it around. At least get something. There we go. We take them apples. This might be our death, though. $1,000 gold shut down. So again, mechanics too quick on the trigger, literally in this particular case. But we have a huge, huge lead. Personally, our team though, if you look at it, 1,000 gold. Only 1,000 cash monies. But you are at 8,000 gold by 50 minutes and Lee Sin is at 5.6. So think about how we spoke about the Udyr vs Warwick, right, in the beginning and in the silver video this week, or in the beginning of this video if you're watching on the main channel. And now the gold lead is 8,000 to 5,600. It's 2,500 gold, right? It's almost 3,000 gold. That's the difference between your silver, your gold, and your platinum who are really getting good with understanding this kind of stuff. But you can see the mechanics still let us down a few times. Sometimes we stop tracking a little bit. But you can see how much better this is. And this is a person who was silver for 9 years, guys. As you saw, 9 years. And he shot up to platinum, not because they changed ranks, because he got better. Right? We worked together, he got better, he put in the effort. He's put in the games. He's intentionally played sets of fives and done everything we've talked about to get better. And you can see it working. Reps, right? He's just putting in the reps. He's just getting stronger all the time. And that's how you improve. And the fact that he hasn't gone down to silver, okay, or gold even, ever since he reached it, proves this. Months now. Just getting better, rank doesn't matter. Just getting better, getting stronger on Graves, getting more understanding about the jungle, you know, and it's huge. Here we have ult as well. I don't think we need to flash. I think we could have... He's not trusting his ult there. You know? He's not trusting his E and his W and his R and his Q. He's just flashing in for autos to make sure he gets the kill there, which I understand, but you gotta make sure you're hitting those spells, so... 536 in pocket, Ghostblade completed. We'll go for Collector next. We'll go for this RNG, RNG Scuttle, Neutral Herald. Now we need to move into his jungle, so less counter jungling this game. I do think there were opportunities to counter jungle, but he's choosing this playstyle of, hey, I'm not letting you take dragons, I'm not letting you take my camps, I'm not letting you play the game, which is another great, strong way to use denial. You know, there's different ways to play the game, different things to look at. That's what we speak about all the time, isn't it, guys? Mid lane here is being shoved in. Lee Sin's on our Raptors here. We'll just snack that away from him. He does not deserve to be remotely close to us in levels, but we are up 2 levels now, but it's a little less than that. Heimerdinger is an issue for us. I feel like if we got a few of those kills mechanically, and you know, maybe kill the Fiora before this Krug camp, a bit more turret damage, a bit more counter jungling opens up, and that's the Emerald Diamond run, right? Like when you start to do that consistently, you know you're going to make it to Emerald, and if you do it in Emerald, you know you will make it to Diamond. Yone, doing a whole bunch of nothing. We keep sequencing down to the Grump, as you will notice. Aatrox has moved on over, so a bit of a missed moment here to maybe just stay with your team, but also that's fine, eh? Cool. There was nothing, so I sequenced, and you guys did work. Cool. Now I'm going to go ahead and take these Raptors. Obviously, you have to be very cautious at this stage. We do have Collector up, so we should probably be a little bit safer with our pathing here as our bottom lane follow us unto hell. Lee Sin is getting trapped where he should not be trapped, but he is being trapped. Herald is activated. Not a good Herald. Not a good day for watching these Heralds be activated. Jhin is showing up. We're just going to go ahead and kill him. Akali. Lee Sin does what he can to try and kill at least one. Jhin shows up here. One order. Look at the damage there. Q drawback. Yone's out of position. So, oh, there you go. That's it. That's a sniper. We like it. Swiss sniper. In this particular case, not American. And he's Swiss. EU West. So, activating the Herald, much better. We talked a lot about this with him. Using the Herald, the second Herald in a much better way. Woof. That's why I love this build. We're not even at Collector yet, and just a Noom. Oh, just beautiful, magnifique. I love seeing someone improve like this. It's good to put in the time with someone long term, and you see them putting in the reps and getting so good at smurfing in their elo, and it's just about consistency. Yeah, the mechanics, when he makes those mistakes, it costs him and he loses games because of them. But when he hits them in those situations, it's always good. Now we have Collector, now we have Stormraiser, all in one big old-fashioned buy. You can go Black Cleaver next, or Low Doms if it's a squishy comp. I think Black Cleaver is generally pretty good. You don't need more damage. And this build allows you to leverage a bit of the auto-attack assassin, the spell-based assassin build with your, Qs and R's doing a lot of damage with your smooth animation combos, and also the auto-attack based game style that you get with a Stormraiser, right? Because of the energized attacks as well, the movement speed from this plus Ghostblade is always huge. Okay, let's watch this. We use that movement speed buff. We see the Yon out of position. Watch this. We got Amelia with this as well, so a nice little helper over here. We've got our ult. We're going through a Fiora. Look at the damage of the Fiora here. We can use the ult to respace, which of course we do. Doesn't quite be the, it's not quite the cleanest hit over the wall. We can just flash. There we go. Q against the wall. He's getting really good at trying to find these angles for quick Q bounce backs. I think most Graves don't. They try and just shoot it in the open field. Don't use walls enough. Huge damage, guys. Huge damage. And it's such a big win, 51-2, that they're not even going to contest. They're going to FF. Because they can't win. And we looked at the mid game and the late game macro in the previous two videos, and of course I always leave the mid game and late game decision making videos for general purposes in the description, because sometimes it's just good to watch a snowball in game. In Emerald, it will be a different story. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. At least historically, when we used to have Camille jungle, Jarvan jungle, Vi jungle, and around season 8, they were all known as similar to each other because they've got a gap closer that does some CC, and they've got a lockdown ultimate. Then some shield, and sometimes some percentage max HP damage, or in Camille's case, a Cho'Gath ultimate. Anyway, we're going on a late invade here with the Vi. Nothing happens, so we're going to be late to our blue. However, that's no stress for us. The Jarvan's going to be starting down here, and this is the thing. When you're playing a champion that's very similar to another champion, you could say Karthus and Fiddlesticks would be a similar kind of champion style. You kind of start to fuse your game plans a little bit, right? You sort of, okay, they want to do this. I also want to do this. Do I want to do it to the same side? How do I stop them accomplishing what I want to accomplish? And it kind of changes the dynamic of your game plan a little bit. Now in Emerald, random things can happen quite extraordinarily. We have Deep Ward here that doesn't really do anything unless a Jarvan walks on it, but he's dragging it to the left here. He should not be detected. There should be no raptors shown. So we know, or don't know exactly what he's doing, but in this case, you kind of see the pings, and that's the thing. If you just place this ward a little deeper, you're going on a late invade. You're the Vi, anybody else. If you're the Vi, specifically, use your ward. So the late invades I don't like, but if you can use your ward, right, okay, I'm going to place it somewhere where I'm at least going to get value. So if the player doesn't necessarily work out, okay, is he going red Raptors Krugs? Is he going red Krugs Raptors? Let me know. Because what you see are pings on the map. Like, be careful, the Jarvan could show up. Yes, he could. And I'm going to be sequencing from blue side to top side. And now the Jarvan ganks. But you had no idea what was going to happen. And, doomed, right? If you want help implementing this information into your own game, I have a free jungle improvement resource as well as a dedicated program where we have jungle video courses, jungle coaching VOD libraries that has weekly free video content seen nowhere else, as well as Q&As and patch note rundowns, as well as a private jungle Discord. And if there's one thing I'm good at, it's converting junglers to gold, to emerald, to diamond, to master plus. If you want to climb faster than anyone you know, jungle div every game you play, click the link below or head to virkayu.gg. Whereas if you saw him go up, you're less preoccupied with this notion and you know where he is, and your bottom lane can go for this trade freely without worrying about where the Jarvan is, and you have to think about this. If your bottom lane go for this trade, whether they win or not is irrelevant, right? But if you ping off the Jarvan potentially being there, and they listen to it and they hear it, now they get nervous. Whereas if you let them just play the 2v2 accordingly, without any pings, maybe they win it. And that's something to think about. It's not always going to be the case, obviously, but thinking about these things makes you a better jungler. Now, Garen is pushing in the Riven, as one would expect in this particular case. How many good Rivens do you see nowadays? And the Jarvan does the Wolves Grunt for good sequencing. For some reason, walks this way. Oh, I know what he was looking at, but he was never going to get this gank off. He is trying to get into the Garen here as the Garen wards us. So I like that he pulls off the Grunt, but I don't like that he walked around that long way. He could have been here a little sooner, but this is a very good gank. Much like the main channel video I just covered where the Kha'Zix was doing the same kind of thing, gave up his blue to make sure he got a gank off, obviously got the Scuttle Crab as well. Huge, right? Vi in the meantime now will be finishing this off slowly. She had to start Q, she had that late invade, compromise and no leash, so now you know you're out of position. However, if you stop right now and you press tab and you look at the Jarvan ganking this lane, you're like, 20 CS, no blue. What does it mean? Blue's up, Crab is up. How many Jarvans, how many junglers in this elo are basically going to give those two things up just to deny you a scuttle, just to gank lanes, just to keep going? Very few. So, back to base, go straight down, get your Scuttle Crab, do something about the bottom lane, because obviously they will reset, they have their lead, punish them, some were burned. We can do something about that while the Jarvan is busy doing these things. Instead, though, she's going to go through the Tribush, try and steal this crab, which you can't do. Sees the Jarvan on his blue, right? But Riven can easily rotate, obviously. The wave's pushed in here for the Garen also. Xerath can also rotate, obviously, so this is a complete waste of time. Now everybody knows what you're doing. Their bottom lane here has Prio, and this guy's decided to roam. You see this, right? He moves through here. This gets hit up, and you know he's going to be cutting you off. You've telegraphed to everyone what you want to accomplish. Not so good. Not so good at all. Walking through. Jarvan's hanging around. Rakan's going to go for the gank on the Twisted Fate. You see? Flash EQ. Vi shows up. Counter ganks it. But to what end? To what end, I ask you? Because now we're forced to flash roll. The Jarvan Q misses and then he hits the E. But if anyone had hit spells, nice E through the Rakan there though. If anyone had hit their spells, they actually would have been able to get a lot of kills, or at least kill the Vi. The Vi turned it around nicely because they didn't punish her mechanically. And now the Jarvan's hanging around here. Just go get the crab, call it a day. You'd be in a great position. You know, this isn't gankable right now, but maybe it could be if you and the Rakan all go this direction, but the Rakan is low HP, you're low HP. You know the Vi's gonna have to go back to base, right? It's just a bit of a mess. And it's all because of the Vi. Now the Vi is gonna rectify the situation, hopefully. Xerath has TP. So by rectify the situation, I mean make it worse. Categorically worse. This is just a failure across the board, right? Go back to base. You know the guy's going to be busy. Take this. Do something about this. Rakan doesn't get to run because you cut it off. Jungle diff. Alternatively, you go contest for no particular reason. They collapse on you. You cut across mid lane. Rakan shows up. Jarvan rotates over to this fight to collapse on the Twisted Fate. And they mess up mechanically, which gives you a free kill. And then you mess up mechanically again. Or not mechanically in your brain. Just leave. So the Vi gave them back the gift that they gave to Vi in the first place. They ain't Valentine's Day no more. Now the Thresh and the Aphelios can afford to go all in on the Zyra, who's got no sums, and they can just kill her. So, while this works out for the Vi in this particular regard, it's not something that she necessarily set up at all, right? It's not something she set up and pre-planned. You're at bottom lane carrying because you gave them some situation that can be used, but you yourself are not doing anything. Jarvan stays out because he can, didn't go for this because he could not, I don't know why, and now falls back down to this. Vi doesn't even think about doing the Scuttle Crab, assumes it's probably gone at this stage, although I don't know why you would assume that. Decides to do her Grump first. This guy's ulting. Doesn't notice, does he just want to go through this, or does he not notice, is he numb? He's down 2 levels, he's got no sums, and he's just, alright, well then. So Jarvan's got 4 assists from this. Goes back to base. Bottom lane are now 1-2-1, and we're on the Scuttle Crab. This is weird, right? Because now our wolves are up. Raptors are up. Krogs are up. We've done the Scuttle Crab. Yeah, we killed the Xerath, which is great. But our tempo is all off, and it's wonky. And I don't like wonky tempo, I'll tell you that much. No, we don't. Like Big Boss, Nas Your Honor, Episode 1. Big nose. Now you're kind of waiting to get 6 here. I mean, why would we go gank this? See, here's where it's interesting. This is some low elo tendencies that kind of get stuck in Emerald as well. You go ahead and you do this wolf camp. And now you're like, well, you know, the blue's coming up. Could wait for 6. Why don't you just carry on sequencing? Like, the blue isn't going to dictate your game. There's no herald right now. You could very easily do this and then hold this a little bit, or you could just hold this as it is, as it were. Probably do this and then hold. You get level 6. Twisted Fate can move on down, then maybe you can ult in, all engage, maybe now you can kill him, right? Maybe, hypothetically. But going in here, halfway to level 6, against the guy who can just hit you with his E, then he can slow you with his W when it's up, obviously it's not up currently. He can re-poke you back out with the Q, decides to 9999. So it's, when did Swag's thumbnails take over the replay, the 9999? I'm kidding, but it's still funny. Now we're going to go down here and say, right, let's have a look at this red buff. We put a ward here. You know, Jarvan could be here coming back to his red with the bottom lane. He could be up here. We don't know. We're only going to know when he shows at this particular point in time. Garen flashes. So you could have had the red. But again, something we didn't really know about. I just don't like this. We did a full clear. And instead of just doing the smart thing, the intelligent thing, again, watch the main channel video. Really good about how to give up a crab. For those on the main channel watching this in the movie form, I'll leave a link in the description for you. It's so big when you understand this stuff. Because now, all we've really done is full clear, done some fisting, literally died. Run down here, done a grub, killed someone who wasn't paying attention, done a wolf camp, gone here, gone to the dragon, now we're going to the blue. We will get 6 from this, obviously. Now we can use our level 6, so we are getting places. The Jarvan's coming out of base here. Alright, 004, so I do like this game. All of this stuff in the second rotation I don't like, but I do like this gank, because I hit 6, she's going to use her ultimate, we can just hit our Q. We've got our ultimate as necessary in the crown, so we can just use it and get a double kill for our affiliates. I would take some yourself 3-1-1, but then if you get one of those kills, give it to your ADC, let them recoup some of the losses. Now this ward will be good if Jarvan shows on it. Let's see if he does. Should do. Got nothing else to do. Obviously he's going to be down here. We see that. Cool. Now we're on the top side. So the Jarvan also, second sequence was a bit weird because he stayed out to do this, this, and this without buying. So he is going to go to the top side thereafter. Try something on the top lane on the Garen. Again, a tough lane to gank. We spoke about that in one of the coaching videos earlier on. You got to have the right assessment on it, yeah? And now Vi goes from red to Raptors. Why would you go red to Raptors here? What's the logic going red to Raptors? I don't really see it. Because, you know, you're not level 7. You know Jarvan was on the bottom side, so you know he's not going to necessarily go straight for that Herald. And even if he was, right, which he could and maybe should try and force that a little bit, you know, the Riven has total control up here, and obviously you got to pay attention to the Xerath. Like, if the Xerath is still in the lane, then sure, but if Xerath's basing, then as Jarvan, you can afford to kind of go ahead. But then, therein lies the question, which jungler is sneaking it away in the fog of war? Because one has a lane in the mid, one has a lane in the top lane, you never know. Just gonna gank the Riven. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. She's over pushing. We can do the commitment to the top lane, help Garen boil some water. But then why couldn't you just go Krugs, Red, Raptors? Now, it's not ideal sequencing, yeah, but it's all about the direction. You can always go Red, Krugs, Raptors, which is what I usually do in this case, just because I want to shadow into this, and I want to wait for my top laner to show up. And then just to go back, because I wanted to show you the timing. See, he's basing here. So if you say, all right, I expect the Riven to auto push this. I don't know why you would expect it, but, you know, say you do. You know, you see the Xerath pushing this out. The Red Raptors makes very little sense in any situation. Like, if you want to gank mid lane, the guy's going to go back to base. You want to gank top lane, you're going to go all the way back up. You want to go to the Herald, you're not yet level 7 to fight the Jarvan. And you don't know what the Jarvan's doing at all after he did the Raptors. So, his Raptors, not yours. So, basically, if you said, all right. She's pushing this now. I expect her to do that because that's what she's been doing the whole game. She's got 63 CS, same as the Garen. Why did I do the Raptors, float back up to the Krugs, quickly snack those, and then join up with the Garen? Now, here it works out where the timing is pretty good, so she doesn't actually have to do the Krugs, but I'm not entirely sure that's exactly what she was thinking about. So, really good read. Like, if that was your goal, to go Red, Raptors, Krugs, gank top lane, but top lane push really quickly, and you could gank it before the Krugs, then yeah, hell yeah, you do that. So this is good, right? I'm just questioning whether it was in the brain as much, because you can always go Red Krugs Raptors or Red Krugs, do this, shout it out to this, and then take that. So if you guaranteed knew the timing would be better just to do Red Krugs and then gank top lane, then I would have done that. What is with the 9,999 numbers popping up? Obviously this guy overcommits, we'll sneak this away, that's fine. Hopefully. Get it. Level 8 on the See? We went back to base, we spent our monies. But if you do this into this, do this into this, now you can do that, into that, and maybe gank this. How much gold do you have in pocket that you want to actually stay out versus go back to base? That's always the question, right? Here now we have 900. I feel like 900 is a good amount to go and spend, but I'm not feeling too driven by it because I know the Jarvan will go back to base because he's sequenced up, he will kill, he will spend, and he will go back down here. So I think most likely I do Raptors, base, and go straight down here with intent to get the scuttle, to ping this off, to counter gank it through a lane gank, or simply to gank into a gank and use the Herald, right? That's what we want to do. So, Red Krugs, gank top lane, take this, clean this up. This quadrant's nicely enjoyed. You've got all of this up here. Dragon's going to be coming up next. And by the time you're done with all of this stuff, the Raptors and the Krugs would have respawned, even though the spawn times are way off because you did them in a different order. You're going to be down bottom lane, but for 3 minutes plus, they will both have respawned and you're good to go. So I think that's a better play. Instead of leaving the Krugs on the map, which is an edge camp for no reason, we do go down to the bottom side here, looking to use this Herald, shadow the Jarvan. Don't take the Herald. Unfortunately, the bottom lane goes way too deep, which is, that happens. You can do nothing about that, which is why I talk so much about this general experience and quadrant clearing, because if you don't get these opportunities, like right now, where you try to do something, because this guy does, and you get nothing because you had weird back timers and you live in camps on the map, you're going to fall behind pretty damn quickly. She's almost level She's almost level, she just hit level 8, there you go. But the Jarvan is almost level 9, right? So, yeah, you're seeing the lack of Cam's 10 CS does a lot, and she has 5 out of 10 KP. The guy is 6 out of 7, he's got higher KP. Not that he's jungled particularly well, it's just that his sequencing has been better. It just gives him a little more extra. Like, what are we doing right now? You're just intentionally shadowing the Jarvan, and now you're going to shadow gank the Garen, or use a Herald and Garen, and gank the Riven. That's all fine, but I don't like this at all. I feel like what I'm saying was a way better play. Jarvan, on the other hand, is definitely bottom side. We saw that. Riven's just going to go on us now because she knows what's coming. Do you really get anything from this? Plates, but that's about it. Yeah. It's the kind of thing that can make you feel good and make you feel like you're making a good decision, but you're not at all. It is not. It's gonna work because it's Emerald, but again, it shouldn't really work. Like, you should be severely punished for this. So, our camps are out of sequence because we got a Grump that's gone, we got Krugs that are now gone, and you know, we kill the Riven because we have ult button plus the Garen, we're forcing the Xerath to show up over here. This is all good, but you can do it in the flow. Jarvan's gonna snack that dragon up, and we do die to the Xerath. Now there's no wave. They can just move to the mid lane and shove this out, get a few plates in the final minute. Xerath does die as well. No. Red Krugs, gank top, snack this, take this, go back to base. I'm coming bot lane. Oh, you died anyway. Well, that's fine. I'll just do my camps here quickly. Take the Scuttle Crab as well. I'll wait for you to show up again while I do that. When I do that, we'll activate the Herald here. We shove this down. We push the Jarvan out. We fall back to the Dragon. That's a better play. The flow play. Now, you can always counter jungle, or you can go back to base, and now you can go topside. Right? You follow? If you're Emerald, you should start to follow these things. What you don't want to do is leave the Krugs on the map for your top lane or someone else to take. Then you go back to base, you have only if your Grump taken, you take this, and you cross all the way back up to top lane. Like, you took the Herald, went back to base, took one thing, and went all the way back up to top lane. With no econ. What if you got nothing top lane? What if you got no kills? What if all the bad things happened? These are possibilities. So don't results base the fact that she got plates, she got kills, and she got a lot of stuff that got her fed, right? It shouldn't have happened. But it did, because Emerald, and that's part of the game as well. Beat who you're playing against. Don't have to be Challenger Jungler to be a Diamond Jungler. You just have to be Diamond capable to beat an Emerald player. Now we roam out of base. This I did like. We got item completion. We went straight back to the mid lane. We helped clean up that mess. Now we got a full blue side quadrant. We've seen the Jarvan down here as well. So now, if you're strong enough, I would like to go into the Jarvan's jungle and do some fisting. Why? Because I know Zyra was killed. I know the Xerath is dead. I know that the Rakan is low. You know, this is a 1v1. So if you can kill the Jarvan here, go for this. Get aggressive, right? Get aggressive. Because once you do this, you fight him, you fist him, you can fall back to your blue side quadrant as well. You can catch this and shove this up as well. A lot of cool stuff you can do other than stand still and wait. There are two types of junglers. Those that get a lead and then wait for the enemy jungler because they're not tracking, and those that just say, cool, now I can kill everybody. And they just run in, kill and take a shit, shadow this, take this, fall back to this, reset, and repeat the process. Jarvan's had a decent game, but he's like panache. I'll say that. He's not a very sexy, I mean, no Jarvan player is sexy at all in terms of that kind of stuff. It's very fundamental. And obviously abusing Shojin and Gold Drinker and the ECDR, I mean, it's not very difficult to pull this champion off at the moment, unfortunately. But as long as you control your camps, press the right buttons. Again, she's just sitting around. You know, I know she's playing around the ultimate, and I know she's getting things through the setup. We'll get this one in here as well. This is good, right? Like, this is nice. But while this was good in terms of, okay, let's go Twisted Fate. I'm waiting in the fog. Let's go. She's done that a lot this game where it's just like, you're leaving camps, you're only doing one camp, and you're going back on the map. Waste of time. But, good lockdown for her team, and she's done a good job overall. So we give credit where credit's due for those things. Now we're going to overpush this one here. We do have our ultimate up, so we can use that. We get stunned by the Riven who's ulting us. The Jarvan just easily kills the Twisted Fate with the Riven ultimate there. And now we're out of position, and of course we lose this 2v2 pretty severely. Yeah, this is the thing. What is Jarvan? At 7,000 gold with 7.5. And we had the Herald, which gave us free 2 plates. The econ, the lack of efficiency in the pathing, that has cost her hugely. And if the Jarvan was a bit more dynamic with his counter jungling, with his positioning, I feel like he could have really punished her as well, but he didn't. Story of League of Legends. Someone made a mistake and I didn't punish them. Alright. Now, Garen decides to shadow this. Rakan says, I can help you guys. Because Rakan is a good and enjoyable champion. Twisted Fate presses the off button. We're going to have the rake here from the Zyra. I don't think she's going to live much longer. She should be doomed. She is. Vi's leaving her base as we watch this one. Jarvan shadowing, waiting to put a sandcastle down. She's now going to hold mid lane here. Hello, Xerath. And here's the problem with the mobile mages. You can be super fed, you can be strong, you can be good, but if a melee fighter gets onto you with their low cooldowns, their low haste, and the point and click and easy to use abilities, you die. You can be 3 levels up, it doesn't matter, you die. Sucks. Class is not in a good place at the moment, but this is good. Out of base, stop this, go to the Herald, watch this, and just pay attention. We like that. How long are they going to stay down here, though? We take the Herald, he's taking this. They're basing finally. Now you could go aggressive here, but there's a dragon coming up. So I understand the kind of desire to take the red here. There's no reason for us to necessarily base. We can hold the mid lane turret. Now we can definitely go look for a fight here. I think that's fine. I'm okay with that. Nice hook on the Xerath. That should be a cute triple flay from the Thresh. That's beautiful. Rakan is dead. Sandcastle Man goes dunking. But he is the prince of nothing as his team is rinsed. And obviously now he is going to be killed. The Vi says, I can handle you, bitch. And then Riffin's on the back line, still trying to kill people, getting stunned by yellow cards, stunning the Garen, trying to use mobility. Vi just goes straight to the dragon, we agree on that one, and she should live. The original mobility champion. Nice. Playing off her team very well with the CC. I mean, having Thresh and Twisted Fate, it does help your Vi CC stacking quite a bit, but yeah. Nice though, 837. Objective control is good. As I said with the Jarvan, he was there, he was out sequencing, he didn't counter jungle, and he didn't really show the desire to take control, and I think it really does hurt you quite a lot. Always does. You're too passive, and you're fed, you're not going to win. Vi's been a little bit too non-farmy for me, but now we're getting going, right? Except in this particular case, your mid lane is covered with your champions, so you go Grump into the Wolves into the blue so you can shadow towards the mid lane. You don't want to go Wolves to the blue to the Grump or the Wolves to the Grump to the blue because you're pathing away. So if you go Wolves to Grump and you need to rotate, you're pathing away from your team. So always want to path towards your team. Critical to know that. We see Jarvan on Vision. Garen is Hellbreaker, obviously. Great item. Definitely was hardcore nerfed. Nah, the nerf did nothing. Because we know this is up from the global timer and we know that Jarvan's on the top side, we'll just sneak this away. We know everyone's going to try and collapse onto the Garen, so we can shadow this. I like this play. This is a good one. This is a good one. Don't know if we should... Yeah, okay. Okay, I can see it. I mean, free kill here. Yeah, okay. I kind of wanted to get involved in this, right? You see where my mind is? I'm kind of want to help out over here, just to keep Aphelios alive. But it should be okay, because we have Twisted Fate. We're just going to go on the Xerath, make sure he dies. I think that's good. Then we're going to ult the Zyra. Beautiful. Misdirected intent. All in onto the Xerath. Ult the Zyra to make sure she dies. Jarvan shows up. We'll CC and kill him. This was good. This is the game-winning mid-game macro play. You want Diamond? Your early game, like this Vi, can be rough around the edges. But you can refine it. You can get better at it. You can get more efficient with your farm and keep the same amount of ganks and so on. But this right here was a great read. Hey, Jarvan's up. Hey, Garen's fed and he's coming this direction. Hey, I got a second Herald. Let me go and steal a red, shadow this, kill the top laner. Team fight over here, activate the Herald, let's go. The Herald gets a huge punch here, beautiful double charge. We snack this inhibited turret. We don't take the inhib so they can't farm and scale. Beautiful. Beautifully done. I love it. This was really, really nice. Take notes. If you're an Emerald, that's the kind of macro play that blows up in games. Even if you're not having the best game. Again, she is having a good game. I'm nitpicking. You have to. If you honestly play a game like this and you think, I'm amazing, I'm a smurf, I'm destined for master, grandmaster, and challenger. No, you can never think like that. You have to think like, I'm doing this to Emerald jugglers, and I'm probably doing something wrong because the guy was still almost 2 levels ahead of me at one point, which can never happen. But I did these things really good. What else can I do good, you know, if you want to speak locally? So, Twisted Fate is here. Now we can just go straight in because we got Divine Sundra plus the Black Cleaver. Riven shows up, gets stunned in the path, gets ever frosted. Jarvan says an EQ dunk in the back line. Now we might be overcommitting just a little bit as we talk about good decisions. You know, when your Aphelios is mid lane and your Garen's down here and you got no TP on them, don't overcommit for the pick. Just don't. Easy to say, but, you know, you're allowed one little death like this. But again, with the Kha'Zix video, we just released this week, where he sat on the one side crying because he lost a 30 kill game in Challenger. it's from these little moments. Like, these little things can really bite you. So pay attention to your waves, pay attention to when you're actually being caught out. And sure, 1 or 2 of those moments are okay, but a lot are not. Because now your team are without you. What? 999,999 million damage from the Zeroth Q. That hook did not hit. It's so weird how Riot continually break their replays every patch. I don't know how they do this. It's always something broken every patch. It's always something different. I don't know. Bel'Veth is now doing work. Garen did some work. You're gonna do some more work right now. Business! I have business with the Empire! Yeah. It's good to get the Garen fed. Like, I get that, you know, but it's not worth going Grump all the way across the map to use the Herald top lane. I mean, look, your Aphelios and your Garen are using the lead you gave them. That's huge. The Vi's definitely been, you know, in this game. Very well. Good fights, good picks, good macro. And we like that. This is all positive stuff. And we're always about getting better. So if we were to refine this and say, how do I take all of the good stuff I've done, get better? It's okay, learn when to back a little earlier first rotation. Learn when to not die unnecessarily mid lane. Learn when to use it Herald within the flow of doing your camps. You know? Think about the first skeleton and first base. It's okay to go base a little sooner. These things add up. But overall, happy with both junglers. The Vi could use a bit of the Jarvan sequencing, and the Jarvan should use some of the Vi's playmaking. Fuse them together and you got yourself a diamond jungler. Now this Evelynn, however, was master in split 1 and currently is coin flipped all the way back down to diamond 3 and is pretty much stuck in diamond, wondering what's going on. Essentially, you've got 2 things that can be happening. Firstly is obviously you're spam playing when you're tilted and you're kind of not doing sets of 5 and you lose 1, you lose 2, you keep going. That's a playing issue and you just have to recognize, hey, look, maybe I should stop after 2 losses. Alternatively, there's also a gameplay issue that we're going to resolve in this video. So, Evelynn versus Viego. He gets leashed, we start leashless. Deep ward here by the Kled as expected against the Rumble. We got the Taliyah versus Malzahar, and obviously we've got Karthus support with a Zyra against a Rakan and an Ezreal. The Karthus died level 1, the Rakan got the kill, so nothing that really affects us as junglers. But you know, when the Viego's doing, oh, here we go, let's have a look at the cross time. It's always something we like to talk about when people want Master Tier. You gotta know when you're crossing 223. The best you could do there is around 219. So, guys within touching distance. The Evelynn, on the other hand, here is now crossing, obviously leashless at 231. So, when you know these kinds of things, like, hey, Viego is going to cross at around 219, 220, he got a leash, I have to factor this in, Kled's going to have prior theory over the Rumble, but this could be gankable, right? And Rumble with this double stack slow in the E and this max HP now, this is a lane we could still, in theory, kill decently. The question is, can we do this with the Viego around the corner threatening us? So, we're going to finish off our Grump here. We're paying attention to the lanes, obviously, as always, shoving up Ezreal Rakan against the Karthus support. And now this is crashing, so this guy can either just back to base to avoid the gank. Hey, who knew you could do that? And he's already warded. So he's protecting himself. Everyone will know this and basically say, okay, he's going to use his TP. I'm going to have an RNG scuttle down on the bottom side. The Viego is still really slow to finish. The problem here is I don't like hitting the scuttle crab. I don't like hitting the Scry's Bloom down. Think about it. Why hit down? In what universe is an enemy jungler 229 coming from this direction? It's insanely unlikely, especially since this wave is pushed up and he might expect you to be ganking. The Kled has obviously gone back to base, right? Warded, back to base, will utilize himself running up here. He's not even going to use the TP, obviously, don't need to in this particular case. Hit this up. And now if your Rumble was shoving, right? If your Rumble was shoving and you kind of guess that the enemy jungler is going to full clear and then gank around the corner, this Scry's shows you that as well. So you know, hey, I can counter gank this, or hey, I should just do the Scuttle Crab. Hitting it down in this particular case doesn't do anything. Nothing, in fact, because you know the Taliyah's got prior here, you know the Malzah's just going to go back to base, you know the Virka's coming from the top side, there's no way he's cutting down here. 0 value gained. And if you hit this up here, and now you see the Virka's maybe doing it, I know that's what we're looking for here, but I feel like your eyes can kind of give that away, but you're against a Viego, not a Karthus. Not a Fiddlesticks, not a champion that's going to be full clearing under this 325, 329 minute marker. So you know that the guy is going to be in the area. He's not going to be on this. I prefer to hit up to see where they could be, and then obviously I'm probably not even going to go for this anyway, right? As soon as you see Rumble doing this, pushing in with Kled potentially using TP, who the hell knows what these guys do, even though they don't need to. Obviously in this case a good decision. It's still pretty common for you to see them use it, right? And then Taliyah still here, Malzahar in base, uses his TP. Are we really even going to go for this anyway? No. So we can obviously just go back to base, go to Dark Seal, and I'll do something with the bottom scuttle. Here now, because Malzahar has TP and the Taliyah is low on mana, and we have bottom lane prio, this will be free for us anyway. And now because we have itemization advantage, this guy wastes his time, diamond level stuff, I don't know, like, take it, go back to base, you're not cutting off the Scuttle Crab. She can now go into his jungle here, ward this deep. Now if we just go back to base, right, sooner, he cancelled. Yeah, it's good by him. He knows what was going on. He could see what was going on. It's like, you know what? If I actually base here, I'm probably gonna lose my Grom, so I should stay, because obviously you can kind of predict those things in this elo. And the bottom lane roam up, and we're able to not get the Grom, but the Viego will die for it. Now imagine if we were doing this with the Dark Seal. See what I'm saying? Hit the microphone. You see what I'm saying? This is where it's just such an important concept. All right, look, I'm gonna hit it up to see where he is. I know I want to kind of check if this is the case, but I'm much more like they're coming, so I better see them coming. Maybe I can snack it and get out, or no mid lane prior base. Dark Seal. Now I'm out on the map here. I know I can get this guaranteed because I went to base as soon as I finished this right up. Yeah, I don't have to waste any more time. I hit this and I go back to base. Show up here, got a Dark Seal. We do this invade here, our bottom lane rotate with us, we kill the Viego, all of this good stuff as well. Now we got some stacks in the Dark Seal, and obviously we can take the Wolf Camp as well. Lower death timers as well, just pay attention to this. Karthus roaming top side to try and kill the Rumble, so this is free for us. Now the Viego's in a really bad spot. So it has worked out for us in the same kind of capacity, but it also could not have. You see what I'm saying? It also could not have. Taliyah's out of mana. Viego now will have to go for his 5-minute Raptor Pit thing. This is gone, guy. It's long gone. Your next play is going into this and trying to salvage some of this, because Evelyn now has two decisions to make. Do I stay and do these camps right now? Or is Viego going to go straight up to this and counter jungle me before he does the Raptors? In which case, Rakan roams to help us. Rakan shows you everything you need to know. 5-minute 23 on the Grump as well. Huge. Huge, huge, huge movement by the Rakan here. Really helping the Evelyn out a lot. But again, not huge, right? We're talking details here. We're talking details. I know why you hit this guy's bum down. I understand the whole concept. Don't worry. It's just kind of what I'm thinking in terms of timers. Like, where am I going to get the best usage of it? Now, Viego's obviously going over here. We see the pings that have gone from the Rakan. It says, hey, you're taking the Wolf Camp. This is good run by the support. Nice flash ult there by the Malzahar. We get the full charm off. Boom. Another kill. Imagine if we were doing it with a Dark Seal and now not doing it with nothing in our pocket, and again risking so much by staying out this long without spending any gold. Huge. Definitely big. Still seeing people stay out way too long, because the camps at level 5, like these camps are level 5, right? So these camps have the... Move that down there. These camps have the shift in HP. Level 4 camps are still as they used to be. Level 1 camps, except from Raptors, the large Raptors, the same as it used to be. But the level 5 camps afterwards, way more HP. You want itemization. You want to be able to do these camps quickly, all right? Now the Viego has no other place to go other than the Krugs, and we know that. So here we want to quickly snack this. We don't want to stick around too much longer. We really should be going back to base. I do wish we gave up that first Scuttle Crab, but I think everything else would have played out the same, so that's good, right? Good movements by the Rakan. Like it. We shove it up. Guys, Hearthbound Axe. We do have to be careful. Level 6 on the Clud. He's moving down, so that's great. Now, do we want to actually shadow this here? Do we think we can do something about it? Obviously, got to track the vision. He just warded as, that's why I pressed that. He just warded as we saw him. Rumble's ult is not a good one. We saw the ult, so we know we're seen anyway. It's better just to fully commit. Yeah. Ooh. Huge error here. Look at this. You're watching this, right? Watching this the whole time. Watch this. Watch it. See the swing down here? Why else would he swing down here? Probably warded. And you're watching this because this is clearly where we want to go. Just go for the gank. There's no reason to wait. Even if it is warded, isn't warded, was warded, will be warded in some sort of alternative future, we're just going here because we need to get the Clud before that passive pops up again. Before Scar returns from being a coward. Activate your W. Let's go immediately. No hesitation. Because you haven't gone back to base here. You're also level 6, and I know why we're waiting for level 6. But I don't see why we can't fully utilize a full charm. We can flash in to get that. Hopefully, Hate Spikes and he lines up perfectly for this minion here, which you could also just kill anyway. But I feel like we should just go for the kill. Rather than wait for our 6 from the minion to die. Now we activate it, but now we can dash, get Skull back, and ult away into the night. Yeah, I feel like we should have been a lot quicker on that. I know we're waiting for 6 and so on, but I feel like Really could have committed that kill there. Now we are 6-0 and we haven't gone back to base. I think this is just too much now. I mean, we should be able to get the kill here, but we're just giving up. Look at this. This guy was under pressure, under stress, right? We kill him here. We take this. We go down to this quadrant. He tries to steal our stuff. Rakan roams with us to get another kill. Great. Thank you, Malzahar. We get the first RNG scuttle. We have a potential free kill on the Kled here. But now this guy is going to go and do his Krugs because it's the only thing on the map. Then he's going to go down here after we see him do this. He's got all of this available. He saw you top lane. What point? Sees you top lane. There. He should be going straight for your red and your Raptors. Like, he could counter jungle the hell out of you right now. But he isn't. He should, but he isn't. He has a scanner too, so he could use it. Good pathing against the wall. Always against the wall, right? Leave this. Against the wall. Touch grass. Into this. Take this. Keep your eyes on them. Keep your eyes on this. But easily some good counter jungling possible for the Viego. Because we didn't full commit. So now, from our perspective, we're still out with ultimate. Don't you want to use your ultimate on something that's going to guarantee you a kill 100%? Even if we get one here, I don't really care too much. Like, the time invest is just insane. You could have lost all of this. Now you're losing the dragon, which should be you're losing anyway. Then you're going to lose the blue side quadrant counter jungle moment. We got the kill. A lot of time invest for a gank is an Evelyn. I think it's way too much. Because I think he should be dead already anyway. I feel like he should be dead anyway. I mean, you didn't even use your ultimate, so... Now we're going down to this. We haven't gone back to base. This is cardinal sin of jungling. I don't care. There's extended sequences, and there's just dumb sequences. It's good to make the reads, right? Oh, they took the dragon, I can get the herald. Oh, you know, there's a guy top lane, I can take their grump. You know, like, this is good. But if the space between that is filled with dead time, you know, instead of bases, you end up in these situations where now if a fight develops over this herald, right, you're doomed. Now he is going to get your red side. Karthus decides to show up on the top side here. We're worried a little bit about some show from the enemy team because we don't know what's going on. We have a base. Like, now we're just coin flipping this. You know, we're able to get it. We're going to waste our first ultimate repositioning most likely here, or we're going to save it. I think we should have saved it. Or flash and ult in another direction than use your camera, but it's a waste of an ult. We give him kills away. The Viego, yeah, he's done nothing, but he's taking your whole quadrant now. So a diamond level jungler, diamond 2, diamond 1 level jungler, who didn't counter jungle you when you shot top lane without basing, just took his blue and then did the dragon, gets rewarded with your whole quadrant and a kill on the Ezreal. Yes, because we stay top lane for no particular reason. Huge. So I think this stagnation is too long on the map, either first rotation, second, third, whatever, it doesn't matter. You could probably be on the map way too long, pretty frequently, if this is the kind of stuff that you're seeing regularly. And even though he's 0-3-1, it's not because of our hand, it's his own hand. He's like, he did it to himself, you know, pretty categorically. And even though we did some good stuff, you know, we're just wandering the high seas. No active counter jungling. We're down a camp. We're literally down a camp to this guy who should not be down. And we're hovering the Kled and the Rumble for some curious reason. Like, you got an Ezreal. You got an Ezreal Rakan against a Zyra Karthus. Abuse that bottom lane. Abuse it. Really, just take it out of the game. And even so, even if that's not your idea to gank the bottom lane, whatever you're doing, once you've gone top lane here and hopefully gotten the kill because you weren't waiting for your ultimate, or at least chunked him and forced his ult out, that's cool. You know, you go back to base. No, this is my red side. No, you're not getting this. You know, he could be on that right now, right? As soon as you first ganked in the top lane, level 5, and he sees you and you see him going down, he could easily be here, but maybe you can kill him on the Krugs. And then you can kill the bottom line. Then you can take this. Then you can push this off. Then you can take this as well. And then he's going to go for this. You just run across and kill him here. Because now you've got a Blasting One. Now you got Darkseers. You got Boots. Whatever you have from the first base. And now you can stay out a while. Not the first rotation, though. Because these camps are going to become harder and harder to take the longer you stay out now. However, ult is almost up. So we can start to do Evelyn things. And here's the thing about Evelyn. Especially Evelyn mains, and you guys know this. My main channel first blew up with Evelyn and the rework guide in November 2017. Played a lot of Evelyn to make that guide, and a lot after that. Yes, you kind of stop CSing, and yes, you kind of start using that camouflage in the position to get these picks to make the game contour to your will. But it's not at 5 minutes or 6 minutes. It's not at 8 minutes, right? You're still going to keep good sequencing decently. It's almost like you want to be on the trajectory for 7 to 8 CS per minute, and then it drops back down to your 6 minutes, 6 CS per minute, because you stop farming a little bit, but you're so far ahead, you can just pick people up easily, counter jungle easily. Here's a good example. And if you start to kind of wander the high seas and not farm too early, you like the econ to match the enemy jungler, who now will kill the Ezreal, hopefully, yes. 4.1k gold on the Viego, 4.1k gold on the Evelyn. The guy's 131. So much about sequencing, plates, objectives, shutdowns, cleanup kills, counter jungling is just not being used by the Evelyn. And that's why it's an ex-master situation right now, stuck in Diamond. Because we're letting Diamond junglers be equal to us in gold, even though they're 131, which should never happen. Like, you should be up 20 CS on him with this KDA, with no deaths. Maybe one death will allow it. That tempo control, that sort of game control just doesn't exist. Too much looking to be an Evelyn. It's the Kindred syndrome that you see a lot. Nice kill there. Obviously, Viego's going to be rotating up to us. He's super low. Ignite. We get the kill there. Rakan, good job on the Ezreal as well. Chunking that from the bottom when it wasn't on screen. Tilay's now roaming down here with the Malzahar chasing. There should be a kill onto the Tilay as well. Hopefully no one else can die, which is great. Huge. Huge swing for us. Very huge swing for us. We have the Herald, obviously, so we'll get some of the gold back. Now we're at 5.0 and he's at 4.4. Now imagine if we're doing that the whole game. So, yeah. A lot of stuff to think about. Ezreal will get these plates. It's good. So we'll get these one. That's fine. We know this. But if you wander too much around the map, just looking for picks randomly, you're having that Kindred syndrome. So Kindred will get 10 marks in the game, go next game and just start running around trying to use 10 marks, but you're at 0 again. Evelyn, you don't have Rocket Bell Death Cap. You're starting from the ground again. You have to build up again. How did you get Rocket Bell Death Cap and 20 kills in the previous game? Not by playing like you were from 10 minutes to 20 minutes. First 10 minutes are important for you, that foundation. Sequence, know what to give up, focus on getting your 6. Use your 6 in the good lane that's a very easy kill where it's guaranteed doubles, especially bottom lane, maybe a mid lane, free setup for the Malzahar. Maybe we can get a dragon, we can swap over to the Herald. If the enemy jungle's a bit of a gank kill, let him gank, counter jungle him, take control of the game. It looked like we were doing that, and then we just kind of hung around way too much. Rakan presses the button to go in, they do get the dragon here. Karthus is over the wall, mental wall, as well as the W shred wall. Viego's activated his E. We've ult up in 30 seconds, so we have to be cautious here, but we get the full charm with the Malzahar ultimate, but it is a Talia, it is a Zyra. They are pretty decently off here. The Zyra especially is very decently off, and that's why I was kind of saying, like, can we shut down that Zyra early? Could we path in that direction even? I like pathing up here because of the random level 1 stuff, but then give it up, do your stuff, do this again. Great, great, great. Capitalize on this gank, super good. Get the first RNG scuttle back to base, defend from yourself from counter jungling, use your ult in the bottom lane, invade this sucker if he comes back down here again, or do the dragon, reset or cut across if you don't need to reset, contest to make sure you get this Herald. Then of course you can counter jungle here, you can fall back to this, you can use it here, you can use it here, you can go back to base and use it down here with your ultimate again. And you know, you've got to keep that speed going. The denial, the ganks, and your self-econ, the trifecta that makes you a jungler has to be quick, 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 quick. And we were just loitering around, and now we're down 30 CS to a Viego. I mean, come on, down 30 CS to a Viego. 5.1k gold to 5.8. This should be 2k gold lead, given this game. Should be 2k gold lead, but it isn't. Unlucky. Right, 5.14 on the Zyra. We've got a hyper-fed Karthus support 767. One of the things I never thought I'd be saying out loud, but it is what it is. Zyra has no ult, so this should, of course, be a free kill for us. There you go. See, now we can, you see? Now you can do this. Do a quadrant, chat around, sit in a bush, kill somebody, do it again, float to the next thing. Because you have good high econ and a CS lead, you can afford to just not farm for a little bit and just go kill people. Start farming champions. Farm CS before you farm champions. Don't try to farm champions before you can farm CS. Level 8 Karthus uses his flash. Tilay's doing a good job making this very, very difficult. Viego, in the meantime, is just farming, which you look at his KDA and you're like, well, the guy's not had a good game. I agree with you. He hasn't had a good game. It's been a little rough. Very rough, in fact. But he's kept his own econ up. He's controlled his own jungle. He's not been counter jungle as much as he should have. And this should, in theory, be a dead Karthus. Trying to get both, we do. Nice position that Tilly didn't see that, although Nice flash W from the Viego there. Nice flash W into the auto Q. Doesn't pick up the soul because we ain't interested in dying. Objective is on the map. Let's go. Kill conversion ratio. We got some kills into the objective. Everyone was going to get the kills and just live and take our own camps. Also a big thing. So, again, when you are losing or having a rough game and shitty in the bed, which happens to all of us, first and foremost, control your own farm and econ, because you can see from the Viego here, 6.4k gold to 6.8k gold. He's within touching distance. All that matters is the experience and the gold, and if you looked at the experience, he's up 2 levels. All stemming from this foundational principle early on to come back to bite her. She may enjoy, but not in this particular game. Right. Ult up in about 40 seconds or so. Viego is able to take this one. We're not able to hook around the corner. We do get the full charm onto him, though. He's pretty strong at this stage, but not strong enough to kill the Evan, because, again, she's still powerful. The champion's good, right? Rumble shows up as well. He's out of position and dies for it. 2, 6, and 2. But doesn't matter if he's Viego, and if he was up briefly, 2 levels. More like, what, just over 1, 1.5, right? But still. Ezreal's done a good job on the bottom side, and it feels like it's got nothing to do with us. Yeah, we've helped out a little bit, but a little bit of the coin flip. So this kind of playstyle can work really, really well, but it can also work really, really badly. So if you're noticing, hey, I'm losing 2 to 3 in a row, then I'm winning 2 to 3 in a row, then I'm, going in these streaks in both directions, 100%, this is one of those reasons. Nice kill there, obviously. Viego's going to show up. No flash. Sonya's is used. There we go, yet another kill. But he does so much damage, man. Woo! Karthus. Strong champion. Honestly, in this game, with this Evelyn, as Cled's roaming on down, in and out using that passive, but you know what might be really good this game? I know that the Needless is good here, but I'm honestly thinking maybe we just have to go for the Banshees. One of those games where you've got the Needless and you kind of want to go to your death cap, yeah. But it might be prudent to go with the Banshees in a game where you're not quite in total control in terms of experience and gold as you would want to be versus that enemy comp. But the Karthus and the Talia are shredding you, or making it difficult for you to do things, and the Banshees will really give you more accessibility into the back line. Also able to tank his ultimate, right? If you haven't gone in and he ults, you're able to tank it. I think that's... Okay. I know Viego was there, but... Okay, we should have got it, but... Alright. Now we're in a bit of a rough spot here with the whole team. I'm trying to think, I'm thinking out loud a little bit, that's what I'm stuttering here. You want to steal this, okay, you got flash. But you got no vision, so you put that down, alright? You should be going in right now. Like, now you should be going in. There's no Viego, right? No Viego. So go in, hit yourself a QE smite, you got it. Yeah, you're gonna die, but you'll get it. But then, is it worth even dying? I think here, it's okay. Because it's 19 minutes, there's no Baron. By the time Baron's on the map, it's good. If it was 2021, and there's a really fed Zyra, and yeah, the whole team is inting, I might consider not doing it. I would just give them the 3rd dragon because I know Baron's gonna be up. And what I would do is I would give them this 3rd Drake, say, you guys take your dragon, take the 3rd one, off you go. And I'm telling my team, let's go do this. Like, let's run down and quickly do this Baron while they take the 3rd dragon. I think that's a better play. But there's no reason why we should not get this. And the reason why you see that, it just gets rinsed at 1194. So we did have the smite available to do it. That's why you go in a little soon. If there's no jungler, you just want to go in and make sure you can hit the combo smite. So we go in a little too late. We hedge at 1800 instead of 2500. They don't see you over the wall. So you would have been fine. Now, though, you're in a bit of a rough spot. As I said, Ezreal's coming over the wall. The whole team is going to collapse in the situation. Ezreal's dodging in. Rakan's not even in the picture. I think we should have just run away. I think here, you look at this, you're like, nope. And you run up and you just go kill the Zyra. Like, you run out of the picture, you just kill the Zyra. I know we've got no ultimate, but maybe we can kill her anyway. Burn some spells and run the other direction. At the very least. But what you don't want to do is die. Which we do. So, they get the dragon, 3rd dragon, good control. Again, that 1st dragon that he got was because of us. Remember that. We stayed too long topside, so he just took it. Because he saw us. So he knew we could get it. Whereas he should have taken all of this. You roam him up, base, shadow, push off. He doesn't get it. So the Soul and the Elder aren't even things on the map right now. Aren't even ideas in the game. Because you denied the Viego the opportunity for objective control. He didn't get it because bot lane weren't in. Ezreal's doing a good job. Right? Rakan was doing a good job for you. Rakan helped you a lot. So he only got it because of jungle. And that's what you got to remember. It's not always just a straight up, my bottom lane didn't let us get dragons, my bottom lane. I know it is sometimes, but not in this particular case, yeah. Not in this particular case. So, we're going to shadow up to the top side. Maybe think, oh, they're on the Baron. Nope. Karthus is just looking to set a trap here. Do think the Banshees will serve us well, but I understand why we go for Death Cap when we want to try and carry the game. But, you know, we have a lot of damage from the Ezreal, so we'd still have enough damage to do the killings, but we'd be able to live a little longer. However, this is the way to smurf it up. If you are always sure your positioning is good and your timing for engages is good, then by all means, build your Death Cap. Same with Zyra. Just build damage as long as you know your positioning is good. This is, again, like, we're going all in on these Kled moments. It's not what we're looking for, right? It's not the pick we're looking for. We should be ensuring that Taliyah and Xayah don't get to play the game at all. And that for Taliyah, that's where I like that Banshee's Bear, right? For the disengage. She can't use a W on me. She can't use her E on me and things like this. She's quite strong as well. Yeah, it's like we lack the kill potential. We're not really in a place to be able to do it. I mean, obviously it is the Rakan's fault for being out of position. Our team's not in position. I get that, right? I get that. We're trying to push up here, but everything is a domino effect. There you go, you see? Karthus will have his button. Xayah kills you. You're going in by yourself. There's no real engage. You need the Rakan to do that, but he's dead. Yeah. It's kind of really collapsing in on itself right now, making it tough for you guys to do anything. Sad game. But again, credit to the Viego for at least keeping his econ highs. KDA was shit, but he didn't tilt. He made picks and made plays where he needed to. He was almost up 2 levels at one particular stage. He was numerically. Got all the dragons. Got this Baron for his team. You could have shit KDAs, but still be having a solid game. When you look at the CS now, you're almost Flame Horizon. It's because you just wander around. The Evelyn just wanders around way too much, and a lot of you do this, and a lot of low elos as well. You think, hey, I can make a pick, but at the end of the day, if your gold is 9.5, and he's up 500, what if my CS was only down 20 to 30? You'd have such a big gold lead that they would all perma die. So, don't know what we can necessarily do here. Xayah's in the brush. There you go. But there... oh, it's... Taliyah was in the brush as well. And again, that's why I like the Banshees here. It saves you, gives you a bit of a spell shield and something important. It lets you live long enough to make sure you get the kill. It's very important to think about the things. Gotta think about it that way. It's funny that Karthus is doing this. 11 deaths, but hey. Hey. Now they get the next soul point, I think. Yeah, we're just wave clearing. Get the soul point. We venture. See if we can make a pick. We do not do enough damage to make a pick. So this build is great even in this game if you're up 2-3 levels, right? That's a whole lesson as well. When you're this far ahead, just build damage and it's free as well. I know people don't like the Banshee second Evelyn stuff, but it means being alive to actually kill someone. But I don't think it matters in this game in particular. Prove our CS early. Don't roam too much. Make sure you're going back to base at a reasonable hour. Don't give away free dragons. Don't give away free counter jungling moments. Do some more counter jungling yourself. And obviously, think about your builds a little bit contextually with the game state and what the situation is. But if you are Diamond and you're playing like this Viego here, well done. This was not your best game at all. You got shit on quite a bit, but you've maintained your gold econ. You did a good job getting objectives, and you were serviceable. You could help your team win, and that's all you really need sometimes to get to Master Chief. It's not the best games, right, that are the issue. It's when you have your worst games. Are you able to still win them, still be useful, play around WinCon? That's what gets you to Master Tier. Thank you very much for watching. Virkayu GG for all your good stuff that you need. Become a monster jungler all right here. And as always, I will see you all in the next one.